conveniently enough, about 2 or 3 days ago, I decided to try and get back into Tekken 7 because I got annoyed that I hadn't gone and unlocked everybody's gear yet, everybody's special items. So I have been getting back into Tekken 7, and without PSP here, there is totally nothing stopping us from doing a mostly Tekken podcast.
Well, yeah, we could do that. I've been getting into, funnily enough, Naruto.
Oh, Jesus
Now,
Christ.
hear me out. Hear me out. It was on sale, and I got all of the games for like $30. Actually, less than $30. So, and
I also finished one of those games because it was on sale once, and it fits into the same category of anime bullshit, and it's like, well, this was cool, but I hate all the fucking characters.
yeah,
Like, oh yeah, it's cool that Sakura can fucking punch somebody so hard that they get pile drived into the fucking earth, but at the same time, I hate Sakura because she's a generic, what do they call it, tsundere character?
yeah, Tsundere.
And fucking Naruto can make 1,000 clones of himself like the fucking multiple man, and that's awesome. But he's Naruto. He's one of the worst characters ever created for fiction, ever.
You have never seen his son.
I can imagine. I'd imagine it's like Naruto, but even more. Like, Naruto is one of the most immature characters ever developed.
No, actually.
And taking his son and emphasizing that times 10, because Japan is like, oh yeah, if he's your Japan's like, oh, well, all family is the same. For some reason, personality runs in bloodlines or something. So your son is going to behave the exact same fucking way that you do, except times 10.
Actually, he isn't exactly like Naruto. He's like if you took Naruto and Sasuke's worst parts and then put them together.
Oh, so he got pregnant. He got Sakura pregnant and ran away?
Okay, save for that.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm embarrassed that I know about that thing happening.
I actually watched a whole...
We'd all be better off not knowing anything about Naruto.
I actually watched the whole freaking arc about whether or not Sarada is Sakura's daughter. Because it was like a whole fake out ending that Karin was the actual mother, but then it was actually Sakura. And nobody knows that it's actually Sakura outside of Sakura and Karin.
Oh. Well, I'd assume Sasuke remembered. Wait, unless he did both.
I'm not sure if he was even there for the birth, so... And, you know, it's not really...
Well, he had to be there for the conception, that's for sure.
Well, yeah.
I'd be pretty fucking impressed if Sasuke got Sakura pregnant from the other side of the fucking planet.
Well, remember that he can teleport, so...
Yeah, but it's probably not that strong.
Who knows?
It's like fucking Dragon Ball Instant Transmission where you just teleport 5 inches. He'd have to do that a lot to get to Sakura and then get back. You have to be jerking off while he teleports. Let's not talk about Naruto and Naruto sex.
It's stupid. But yeah, so for why I bought all of the games, I just find the presentation and the actual gameplay to be fun, and I like them despite the IP instead of for the IP.
Hey, wait, hang on. Is this going directly into the podcast? Because we haven't actually done, like, the opening, like, hey, this is, so-and-so podcast, whatever.
I mean, I can cut it into the podcast if you want me to.
I feel like we shouldn't really get the conversation rolling until we start the podcast, so we should go ahead and get the podcast rolling.
Alright, so, welcome everyone, I'm Matthew the Hero, and this is the Forum of Solitude's Shut Your Mouth Lounge, with me and Alex this time.
Yep, WSS. That guy who used to have a creepy obsession with Joker, but no longer does. And also, I was the guy who ran the old podcast, because I bring that up every episode just to remind myself of my failure.
Well, I mean, you haven't deleted 3 to 5 hours of footage of us talking just because it was horribly out of date, or you didn't have to, anyways. I did have to. So, at least...
I mean, most of our podcast content is already pretty highly dated, because we spend more time talking about old games. because we aren't gaming journalists. We can't afford to just keep on buying the new games or watching the new movies or so on and so forth. So it is pretty dated. I mean, shit, were me and talking about that, fuck, I called him, damn it. Doesn't Pink want his real name edited out? He probably does. Okay.
I'll edit it out.
All right. We're off to a rollicking fucking good start. I hope the crowd enjoys that jump cut there.
There wasn't a jump cut. I can just beep it out.
Okay. All right. So those of you in the audience, hey, welcome to the level of professionalism I bring to the podcast. So, like me and Pink back in the day, whenever it was, fucking last year, we were talking about the movie Logan like a month after it came out.
Well, but most of the podcast was us shitting on Sexy Star for breaking someone's hand or something like that. And I mean, by the time I actually got to editing the podcast together so that the audio isn't desynced, by that time, Triple Mania was like half a year ago, so...
Ooh.
So yeah, I kind of decided against putting time into editing it and just trashing the whole thing, because at that point, why even bother?
Yeah, if we want to really get this podcast rolling, we gotta be more efficient about this.
Well, I need to be more efficient because, it was my mistake, more or less.
I think I should get back to carrying my own weight here. I'm not a great video editor. I mean, I've seen what Mike, or maybe it was Howard, but what they can do with video editing on their podcast, and I just felt ashamed of my fucking work that I did. But that's a whole nother thing for another time. Let's not talk about the podcast anymore. I doubt the audience, whatever audience exists, gives a shit. So anyways, you were saying that before we started recording, and what convinced me to get you to start recording, was you were talking about how you bought all the Naruto games on sale or something?
Yeah, so I bought all of the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games on sale because I really loved Naruto at one point. And for a review, I decided that maybe I want to go back to the PS2 games that I owned, the first two in the series, and I played through the second one on camera. I still have the footage somewhere. But yeah, so I was like, I really like the presentation, the way the story is told. Not the story itself, just the way the story is told. And the gameplay, while it wasn't really groundbreaking, it was there. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that about sums up a lot of the Namco Bandai, or at least what I've played of Naruto and Dragon Ball games.
So yeah, and then like a couple of months later, all of the Naruto games just goes on sale for like 30 or so bucks. So I bought them all up because I'm a bloody tool, and I let nostalgia blind me. And in the end, I freaking love the games, not because they are Naruto, but because they are actually pretty good for what they are.
Yeah, there is a certain appeal to the Namco Bandai anime games in terms of it will be the only fighting game series that will just honestly give you the entire roster of a show over the course of its fucking dozen-year run,
Yeah, like
you could buy a Breaking Bad game and it wouldn't give you fucking Combo, the one friend of Jesse that got shot in the middle of the street one time. But you'll buy a fucking Dragon Ball game, it'll give you fucking Apul, the one guy who had to keep Vegeta in a tube for 5 minutes until Vegeta killed him.
Yeah, and go ahead.
I know that was really all I had to say. I was going to make up some bullshit to artificially extend it, but you go ahead with some actual substance, please.
All right. So, yeah, well, the fourth game in this series has like over 100 characters, vanilla, and then there's also like 5 or so DLC ones. I mean, yeah.
I'd assume that those DLC ones are then the kids.
Yes, it's Boruto, Sarada, Mitsuki, I think, and then there's like 2 more, and also the sound for the people that kidnapped Sasuke at the end of the first series or something like that.
God, Boruto is such a terrible name.
Yeah, people call him Burrito.
You know, I was about to say, I should just call him Burrito. Jesus.
Yeah, their team is Mitsuki, Burrito, and Salad.
Ah. We need to figure out a food name for Mitsuki. I'll work on that. Okay. Anyways, continue.
So yeah, basically how I'd rate those games, I'm in the middle of reviewing those, not because I'm actually in the middle of writing or editing the reviews, I'm just in the middle of deciding whether or not I want to actually put videos up of me saying that I enjoy them.
yeah, that's a hard one.
But, yeah, with how I'd rate those, the first game in this series is the most disappointing one, the Storm one. Or, well, actually, it's both it's true both for the PS2 series and for the, the later Xbox series, the Storm ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first one is the most disappointing probably. Actually, no, I'm lying because the fourth one is the most disappointing. The first one is just the most basic. The second and the third games are both pretty much on par because they both have the RPG-like story mode and the gameplay is pretty good. The fourth game has the best gameplay, but the story mode is shit because it's just stills from the anime and maybe some animation sprinkled in. And that's about it. I mean, the fourth game also has an RPG-like after thing where it tells you, filler story basically, but that's like 5 or so missions, so it might as well not be.
Huh. I believe I actually played the third one. I believe I played it to completion. Now that's just Ninja Storm 3, right?
Well, there's
Ninja. You're talking about?
Yeah, there's Ninja Storm 3, and there's also Ninja Storm 3 Full Burst. Not sure.
I believe I played Full Burst with that fucking painful extra boss fight at the end that I could not beat to save my life.
I beat Kabuto. It was freaking hard.
Oh yeah, he's not merciful.
I got an S rank somehow.
Oh well.
I mean, if I remember correctly, I used the Heroes toolset and then just gave myself some really good health regeneration potions or whatever, and then that's how I got an S rank. But I still got it. I guess.
Excuse me, you could do that?
Yes.
Did I play through that entire fucking game without using the gear system once?
I'm not sure because you could set your tool set and you can buy tools and use them up and then just buy more and things like that. There's also bento boxes that give you buffs for battles. Like, I have 99 of the best bento box in the game that gives you both maximum attack and maximum defense. I just use it for everything now.
Okay, I never did that. I played through the entire game without actually using one of the most vital systems in the game. Holy shit.
There's also the...
Now I understand why I was getting my ass whooped so bad near the end.
Were you also using chakra things, chakra dashes? That's the thing I was looking for.
I think I was, where if you charge up a little super mirror and then he goes faster?
Yeah.
I think I was, yeah.
Because basically, if you want to be good at these games, here's my advice as someone who can do like 30 hit combos in Storm 4 because the freaking leader switching mechanic is broken. You need to abuse chakra dashes, you need to smash your B or whatever the hitting button is just into the controller, and then you also need to abuse bento boxes when possible. Because...
Okay, well... That's a very good knowledge to be good at this game that I will never play again. I mean, I had some fun with it, playing through, but I'm never going to touch it again, at least partially because of objective opposition to Naruto, but, I mean, thanks.
I'm in the process of going all out with 4. I'm finishing off this story with all S ranks because I have nothing better to do, really.
Ooh.
It's hard, let me tell you, because, the normal one-on-one battles are okay. I had a really freaking hard time beating Madara Uchiha with Gai Sensei, but... Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a thing.
that's a little bit of a power discrepancy there. If I remember who those characters are.
A guy can go like Super Saiyan, but he doesn't do it in the first battle, and that's where you get your ass whooped, and that's where I had my problems.
Ah, yeah, that sounds right.
So yeah. And you can't even use bentos or anything like that in the actual story mode, so no more cheating, I guess.
Uh,
You also get, yeah.
I I got nothing. Keep going.
But yeah, so you only get to use, the basic tools that the game gives you, and then you can also not use bentos or anything in the story mode. And in the adventure mode, as the game calls it, which is the replacement for the actual story mode the games had before it. There you just go to Ichiraku Ramen and just eat ramen. Eat so much ramen that you get everything at max, because that's a buff you can get in it.
Right. There's one thing I always love about Japanese games. It's the hey, do missions to get money so that you can eat tons of food and somehow that makes you better. I remember fucking playing through Persona 4 and like every single day that it rains, I had my character go to get a fucking burger and for some reason it made him super strong at everything. Or was that Persona 5? Shit. The Persona games are good games, in case anyone at home is wondering. It seems like you would play the Persona games, Addy.
I don't have a PlayStation.
Ah, yeah, okay.
That's the main problem with me playing the Persona games.
Well, shit. It's not like piracy's ever stopped you.
My PC can't play PlayStation 2 games, and while I have looked
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that too. Fuck.
So yeah, basically my option is getting either a software card for my PlayStation 2 so I can semi-legit play them, or investing in a PlayStation 3 or 4, which, I kind of want to get a PlayStation 3 for myself, because then I can just import the Sengoku Basara series for myself, because I'm a bloody weeb.
Oh, yeah, that series. That's one of those series that when I hear about it, just gets mixed in with the other Brian series. Like, oh, yeah, is that the one with the giant samurai boobs, or is that the one with the schoolgirls? I don't know. I don't give a shit. You're a creep.
I
probably should not carry my feud with Brian to this podcast. Let's move on.
To be fair, Sengoku Basara does have giant samurai boobs.
But yep, that was in it. That was unavoidable.
Technic, yeah.
Is it that game series that's really similar to Dynasty Warriors?
Yes.
But like
less more historical? Anime. But more anime.
Yeah,
yes.
More anime, less historical. There we go.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
it's not like Dynasty Warriors was very historical to begin with. You got fucking Lubu killing hundreds of people with a single swing, so
Well, yeah, but
Lubu was a real person that existed, and I doubt he was that much of a badass, but he was a real person.
Well, so are the people in Sengoku Basara. The only difference between Dynasty Warriors and Sengoku Basara is that I can, pinpoint as this is the bullshit where Basara starts and Dynasty Warriors ends. Is that Dynasty Warriors doesn't have the people riding horses at a 90-degree angle.
I feel like Dynasty Warriors does have that.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I think I've seen in Dynasty Warriors. I think I've seen people fucking slam into a boat so hard. One dude with a staff slam into a boat so hard that the boat flips and kills everybody on board.
Oh, well, then I'm not sure what's the difference between the two series, aside from one focusing on China and the other focusing on Japan.
Yeah, that's probably the difference.
Well, yeah, either way,
Yeah, now we've run out of topics, haven't we?
Well, okay, so
there is Tekken. Since good old Pinky Boy ain't here, we are now at complete freedom to discuss Tekken. Which, I haven't touched Tekken in 6 months. But just 2 days ago, I started playing Tekken again. Because I was like, you know what? When I was playing Tekken Tag 2, I unlocked everybody's gear and I got everyone some alternate costumes, and I felt satisfied with that. I felt like that was the closest thing to completing that game that I would get. Tekken 7, I did not get close to that. And I mean, in Tekken 7, it is a worst case because everyone has way more unlockable gear.
That's a lie.
Like, do they not? I thought everybody had like one or two sets of unlockable outfits, but other than that, they got the generic shit like the generic T-shirts and military vests and so
Well,
on.
technically they have more locked content, but depending whether you have the DLC or not, which I don't, but you know I have heard things. But basically, you have more locked content, but a lot of it is just generic fluff, and then there's like a couple of actual costumes, and then there's like the metallic versions, and that's it.
Well, I'm also counting costumes that can be bought. Keep in mind.
Oh,
And it does vary a lot from character to character because some characters very clearly got fucked over. Like Kuma and Panda get nothing, and that really sucks because I like to set Kuma up with all kinds of goofy outfits. And Kuma now you can have him wear the Tekken Force gear or you can have him run around naked, and that sucks.
Well, it's even better with Panda because my niece mains Panda. She's 4 years old.
yeah, I can imagine how that character would appeal to her.
So yeah, there's literally no customization for Panda outside of like guns and things like that.
And yeah, I mean, putting a fucking shower spout on her head.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like my niece cares because she also plays Assassin's Creed, but you know,
but. It's, yeah, and like Master Raven doesn't get much. Akuma doesn't get much. Akuma gets a crazy looking god outfit, and other than that, you can put a car on his head. I mean, he has the selection of generic outfits that you can certainly set him up with, but I mean, most of them are pretty lame.
Well, you can give him a car on his head and put him in the fundoshi. So.
Yeah, yes, you absolutely can.
I hate the fact that
DLC.
No, it's absolutely free for everyone. I believe. Well, not free, but you can just buy it with in-game money.
I think it may be free for Akuma and DLC for everybody else.
I'm not sure. I don't buy fundoshis. I have other things to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why they put those in.
Because it's funny, haha.
I guess the Japanese sense of humor, and I guess some people want to see Heihachi's fucking grandpa ass cheeks. Oh my god, you remember Tekken 4 when Heihachi was just fucking running around in a Speedo?
No, I don't think I have Tekken 4. I started the series with 5.
I also started the series with 5, but I have seen Tekken 4 screenshots, and Heihachi's primary costume, for whatever reason, was a fucking Speedo.
Well then, I guess that's where the inspiration for this Tekken 5 ending came from.
Well, that was something entirely different. That was even worse because it was Lee, who is actually Heihachi's adopted son.
So yeah, I know. I main Lee, so you don't need.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. It's just what do they call it, fundoshi. But hang on. This is actually Heihachi's primary outfit in Tekken 4. Oh, shit. It isn't coming through the chat. Give me a second.
I can just open it. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, that really is just a fundoshi.
Yeah. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. Because Heihachi has the classic, black gi. Heihachi has the classic, blue samurai gear. And now he's got his crazy, weird swastika fucking trench coat, sleeveless trench coat. I don't know what the fuck to call that. It looks
long
cool,
vest.
Yeah, whatever. I think it's got swastika pattern on it because Japan doesn't understand that's not cool in the West anymore. And then to set him up with a fundoshi, which doesn't look cool, it just looks fucking goofy.
That's the reason. Yeah.
No, the thing is, in Tekken 4, Heihachi was the final boss again. So, like, he was the final boss, and they set him up to look like that, and he looks stupid.
Well,
I should also know, I don't understand Tekken 4's whole thing. Tekken 4, for some reason, tried to go back to being realistic. So So Heihachi was the final boss rather than fucking ancient ogre or crazy Jinpachi shooting fireballs out of his torso. But it just comes off as really underwhelming.
Speaking of crazy Jinpachi shooting fireballs out of his torso, I really miss him. You know, in the age of freaking everybody having a devil transformation, I just miss Jinpachi being bullshit.
Yeah, the great thing about Jinpachi was there was no fucking explanation. He just came back and he's a fucking monster now, and there's no reason.
Yeah. Like, no reason, no explanation. He's just there to mess your day up, just ruin it.
Yep.
He was a really big pain in the ass.
Yeah, I played Tekken 5 as well. I remember how hard he was. I miss a lot of the old guys from Tekken Tag too. You know, going into Tekken 7, it's like these new guys, I'm fine with Katarina. And I'm relatively fine with Lucky Chloe, where everybody else hates her. I'm fine with her. But Claudio is Mr. Generic Italian with stupid anime moves where he shoots fucking lasers out of his forearm.
Claudio is freaking Ishida from Bleach.
I don't know who that character is, but you're totally right.
Do you want me to find a picture for you?
No. I know that Bleach is generic action anime along the lines of Naruto or fucking Kill la Kill or something. Claudio is very much an anime Final Fantasy VII type character they introduced because Tekken has lost its fucking mind and is just doing whatever, throwing in whatever designs they can. I mean, and Gygus, oh my god, Gygus. In the same way most people hate Loki Chloe, I hate Gygus. Because he's a giant fucking weird sex monster thing. Fucking Incredible Hulk.
He's not more of a sex monster than freaking Yoshimitsu's new costume.
No, you're right there, but at least Mitsu, you can set him up with that weird shark costume where his head is a hammerhead shark, and that's delightfully goofy.
I guess. By the way, I sent a picture of Ishida in the chat.
And the thing is, Yoshimitsu is just wearing a costume. Gygus is actually the weird sex monster. Oh, Jesus. But, you know, yeah. I do like Katarina. She's fine. She's okay. Master Raven is, I like her. She looks cool if you take off those stupid machine things she has on the sides of her face. I'd rather have both Raven and Master Raven, because I did play Raven a lot back in the day, and it doesn't feel quite the same playing Master Raven. But I mean, she's pretty good.
Yeah, with the new characters, well, I don't like Katarina that much because I have a classmate that's like her. So that's
I can see how that get annoying quick.
Yeah, so that's just my bias. Otherwise, she's fine from my experience. Lucky Chloe, I can manage. Gigas, or however you freaking pronounce it. I just don't remember that he exists. And Claudio, I just call Lucario because he's a Pokemon to me.
Yeah, basically. And he's got the same fucking moves that Lucario does in Smash Bros.
Well, then I didn't even know that. But yeah, if I needed to choose two new characters to stay in the Tekken series, I would choose Akuma and Geese.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't agree because I don't like having projectile characters in Tekken. I think it hurts the way Tekken works. Like, I hate fighting Devil Jin because Devil Jin can just fucking laser beam me from across the screen.
Well, yeah, that's the...
Akuma and Geese are even worse about that because their projectiles don't leave them fucking hanging if they miss. Like, they can just keep going.
Well, yeah, the Devil Jin...
At the same time, I am a huge Geese fanboy, so I will admit that I'm fine with Geese. I'm willing to excuse Geese off of personal bias alone.
I'm in the same way with Akuma. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We're kind of on opposite sides there. Well, I'd be willing to sacrifice Geese for Rugal, of course, but we've already talked about Rugal on this fucking podcast, haven't we?
That's in the one that I had to delete, I think. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. For those of you sitting at home, Rugal is one of my KOF mains, and while I love Geese's character design and I love his goofy supervillain-esque whole thing he's got going on, Rugal I actually enjoy playing, and I like Rugal because Rugal is just plain hammier.
And I just really love Rugal in general. In SNK 2, I think I had a team of Akuma and Rugal, and that's just it. So
you mean the two final bosses of that game?
yes, I freaking loved that they were the final bosses. For whatever reason, I really loved the villains. So
playing the two final bosses, you fucking cheesing bastard.
I never played against anyone other than the freaking CPU, so
yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, I could, yeah.
I've not gotten to play against a geese that spams real bad yet. Like, even AI Akuma at times will just spam Hadoukens, and it's really bullshit when you have to fight the Shin Akuma boss fight, because he can just fucking do that stupid slide to full screen thing, which restores his super meter for some fucking reason, so he can just throw out super Hadoukens at will.
Yeah,
I believe I have already aired my grievances about fighting Shin Akuma.
I'm not sure.
But Geese's AI is not as fond of spamming Repukens as Akuma is of spamming Hadouken. So, there's that.
Well, have you looked at Akuma's freaking moveset?
I have tried to play Akuma. It makes no sense to me, because every other Tekken character, it's like, hey, you get 100 moves. Akuma, you get 10.
Exactly, so that's why he's spamming freaking Hadoukens. But that's not an excuse, that's an explanation. But as for
he could do actual combos, though. He can do the fucking light Tatsumaki into a heavy Shoryuken and then turn that into, like, his punch combo or something. He has stuff he can do. He just has to actually do combos.
Yeah,
like a reasonable person.
Whenever I play as Akuma, I never really use Hadouken. I mean, I use Hadoukens, but that's when I don't want to fight anymore. That's when I just want to get a higher freaking win count.
Yeah, I gotta get to that Tekken God ranking.
Yeah, so normally I just use his quarter circle 4, I think. Yeah, quarter circle 4, and then that's into a 3 or 4. I don't remember, because I haven't played Tekken in a while either. Or no, it's quarter circle 3 into a 2, because that's the one that I love the most. So yeah, I use that. I use his Tatsumaki, the Shoryuken, and then just normal freaking moves.
Yeah. His fucking down 4, the leg sweep he has, is really good. I remember when I was playing Tekken against Soon, and Soon doesn't play Tekken like any other Tekken player ever plays Tekken, so he's impossible to fight against because you just don't know what he's going to do. And I found that Akuma's sweep was one of the only things I could shut him down with. But, yeah, I mean, the more I play Tekken 7, it's like I have fun with this game. It is an alright game. But when you look at it from the outside, the changes it's made to the system, like Rage Arts, they weren't necessary. And at times, Rage Arts are kind of bullshit in terms of actually beating your opponent, and then your opponent gets to fucking own your ass with one move and instantly take you from 50 to 0 and win the round after they were getting their ass beaten. And the story mode was terrible, awful. And the way they changed the chest system so that now it's like brown chest, red chest, silver chest, gold chest, and crazy fucking disco chests, they've made it way harder to actually collect the gear now. So, I mean, Tekken Tag 2 is a better game in every regard. But, I mean, Tekken 7 is still an enjoyable game. It's still an enjoyable game. And it does have better graphics, so there is that. And I mean, I am stuck playing Tekken 7 on PS4 because I'm way better with a PlayStation controller at actually using the D-pad. Whereas Xbox, Tekken Tag 2 I have on the Xbox 360, and I can't really, like, it's not natural for me to use the D-pad for movement on the Xbox 360. So, like, actually properly dashing and sidestepping is a pain in the ass, if not impossible.
Yeah, and I back when I actually played games online, I played Tekken Online. That was my first game that I played online. I actually was pretty alright, for what it's worth. So, imagine that.
Yeah, were you playing like in the early days of Tekken Tag 2's release?
Nope.
Okay, because oh well, shit, you're probably just better than me then, because I've been trying to play Tekken. I've hopped online for Tekken 7 at several points, and every time I go online, I get fucking owned by Paul Phoenix, who just one hit KO punches me every time.
Well, yeah, in the early ranks, they do tend to abuse things to just sum everything up.
Oh yeah, pretty
with,
bad.
Yeah, and with Lee, it's really freaking good to play against actual people because Lee is supposed to be high risk, no reward. So
yeah, I could see that because what I've played of Lee seems like a mix-up heavy character, and mix-ups are pointless against the AI because the AI will always know when to perfectly block. With the AI, it isn't a matter of whether or not they can beat you. It's a matter of whether or not they decide to beat you, you know?
Yeah. To circle around with the actual discussion, Jinpachi. Just
yeah. You ain't wrong. That's pretty close to the truth, yeah. Sometimes he'd just be like, you know what? You're not winning this one. When you get close to beating him, it's fireball, 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 charge, fireball.
Not even that. I had freaking matches against Jinpachi where he just, you know that move where he stomps on the ground and you just stand up shocked.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't they also give the boss fight version of Heihachi in Tekken 7? Didn't they give him that move as well?
Yeah, they did.
Alright, yeah, I fucking hate that move.
So yeah. I had a fight against Jinpachi in Tekken 5, where it was just, I went close to him, I ran at him, and then he just punched me in the face once, stood me up, fireball, that's the round. And then just the next round, he'd stun me with it, fireball, stand me up, fireball, stand me up, fireball, KO. That's it.
Yep, I mean, that about describes Tekken 7. I mean, Tekken in general. Tekken 7 is way easier than Tekken 5 by fucking planets. I mean, I still get my ass beat on occasion by Devil Kazuya or, some other boss fight that I can't remember.
Kazumi?
It is. Kazumi's pretty bullshit because she'll just send out the tiger sometimes, and I don't know what to do against that.
Yeah. But my main problem with the Devil Kazumi fight is the tiger into the hunting hawk. She does. Like tiger uppercut into a hunting hawk.
Oh right, yeah. Devil Kazumi is probably the only AI that use real long combos. Every other AI will just do strings and punishes and pokes, but they'll never actually do a launcher combo, ground bounce combo. They'll never do that. Devil Kazumi will absolutely do that to you every opportunity she gets.
And speaking of fighting games, I tried Injustice recently. The first one.
The first one. Okay, yeah, the first one. All right, first question. Who did you try to main?
First I tried with Flash because I like the Flash, and then I realized that I don't like the Flash that much, yeah, so...
Flash was really bad in the first Injustice, because the first Injustice was very floaty, very slow, and his Flash didn't have great moves for moving across the screen.
So yeah, after that I tried out Deathshot, or not Deathshot, freaking Deathstroke.
Oh yeah, Deathstroke, everyone's favorite cheese character.
Yeah, so
Deathstroke, I'm sure you've figured this out by playing him. Deathstroke is a big pile of bullshit because he's just good at everything.
Yes, so I tried to play, not abusing his machine guns, but
yeah.
But, sometimes when basically when it came to Superman, I just gave up and then just shot his ass. And that's about it. Like, normally,
I don't remember Superman's boss fight being all that ruthless. Was it?
I mean, when I don't really like the Mortal Kombat style of fighting, it's pretty hard.
I think the Mortal Kombat Injustice style is actually pretty easier. Yeah, I mean, they certainly make it easier to do long combos. Just find whatever move your character has that's a like it has a simple system of just about every character has a special move that can be meter burned into a ground bounce or a launcher, right? So you just do a normal combo, cancel into the special move, meter burn the special move, and then do another combo off of that. And then we cancel that and do another special move. Boom, you got a combo right there. That's the basics of comboing, right?
Well, yeah, but then you forget that I haven't really played 2D fighters that much since Tekken 5, really. I mean, I played
Uh,
SNK or Capcom vs SNK 2, and that's
well,
about it.
that's a little bit of a different case because Street Fighter and KOF, which I believe the Capcom versus SNK series makes use of the Street Fighter KOF mechanics,
Yeah, it does.
generally makes combos way, way harder than any other game series, and is much more reliant on what they call tight links, which means that moves you have to be like frame perfect on the input, or else it isn't going to combo. And Tekken, similarly, Tekken doesn't stress combos as much as other fighting games. Like it is good to have a combo in store because you can throw out launchers as punishes and all that. But Tekken is much more heavy on like poking and punishing than actual combos.
So
So
yeah, basically what I'm trying to say, yeah, go ahead.
those are very much two fighting game series that you wouldn't really feel the need to learn how to combo.
Yeah, and that's why I brought it up because of these or because of this reason I never really rented to combo because why should I freaking spend so much time on a game a fighting game when I have other things to do now? And back then I just was stupid because I was just a little kid. So yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But now with me being 18, why should I spend so much time trying to learn this thing that is really, it's really meaningful for this type of game, but then I won't use it anywhere else. So and it's not like
Well, I
I'm
mean,
being paid to play fighting games or anything.
most fighting games make heavy use of combos, but the two specific games you play don't. But since you don't play most other fighting games, then no, there isn't for you to learn. Because the other fighting games that I can remember you really talk about that you play on occasion are Soul Calibur, and Soul Calibur is also not very combo heavy because it's pretty much Tekken, but with little bit of changes.
Well, it's basically just an input change, more or less.
Soul Calibur likes to lend itself to having characters have even more, so that certain characters.
You cut out.
Okay, certain character Soul Calibur, has the characters have even more varied ranges to the point where you'll have tons of characters on the roster like Siegfried and Killick and Zoslamel that can poke you from the other side of the screen, basically. But then you'll have characters like, why am I forgetting his name? The guy with the nunchucks. Shit.
Maxi,
or Talum. Characters with no range whatsoever. And in Tekken, that really wouldn't happen because everyone's fighting hand to hand. Everybody has their long range poke moves and their short range punish moves and what have you. So Soul Calibur definitely has it set up like that.
Yeah, speaking of Soul Calibur, pretty recently, I
Soul
bought.
Calibur 6 is a thing that exists.
Not trying to bring that up, though we could go into that later. So yeah, I bought Game Pass, and Soul Calibur 2 is in Game Pass. So yeah,
That is a classic. Have you ever played Soul Calibur 2?
not before buying Game Pass.
Soul Calibur 2 is the best Soul Calibur, easily.
I disagree for nostalgia glasses reasons. For me, it's 3 just because I started Soul Calibur with 3. So yeah.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 2 is a ball buster, definitely, compared to the other ones, and I can see how you'd feel a little bit, it's a little bit lacking for content, because Soul Calibur 3, 4, 5 are all very much known for the custom character system. But Soul Calibur 2 came before there was a lot of focus on the custom character system and all that. And it feels more like the characters matter, you know?
Actually, I had no problem with not having a custom character system.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, I played through the story mode and everything, and then I was like, Heihachi is in this game, and I mained Heihachi through the story mode because I suck.
Yeah, Heihachi isn't great in that game.
I abused forward too, so.
Yeah, that or the one movie where it puts out both palms. That one's always great for cheesing the AI.
So yeah, I was like, I cheesed my way through the story mode. Now, could I beat the extra arcade mode on very hard with the same tactics? And it turns out that with one that I did it. And if I tried a couple of times, I probably would have done it without that. So I even have footage of it.
Oh man, I get that's about old fighting games in a nutshell. The thing is, if you actually tried, Soul Calibur 2 is a pretty big ball buster. I don't remember how. It might have been whenever we got the Xbox One and we got the 2-week access to the Game Pass. But I tried to play Soul Calibur 2 recently, and I was playing through the actual Swordmaster mode, which is basically the game's equivalent to a story mode.
Yeah, that's what I played through.
Right, I got to the part where you have to fight the 3 pirates or whatever, and I think that's the mission you have to do to unlock Cervantes. And I just couldn't even get past, I think it was Yoshimitsu. He was just whooping my ass every time. He'd hit me, get the poison going, and then he'd just pressure on until the poison killed me.
Well, I mean, I played other people aside from Heihachi, Like, I mainly use freaking Mitsurugi and Raphael when it comes to Soul Calibur. So.
Right, yeah.
I tried them out, and it turns out that now that I actually, have some knowledge of fighting games, and by that I mean that I don't just mash the buttons with a direction. Yeah, I'm not really good with. Well, I'm not as good with Mitsurugi as I was when I was mashing. With Raphael, I'm still pretty alright.
I find that Raphael is very acceptable to people who are just getting back in the series. Mitsurugi is not so much. With Mitsurugi, I found that I was just spamming that move. The running 4, I believe, where he just does a big boot. Because it's great for just ring-outing your opponent every time. It just sends him flying.
What I did with him most is that running 4 that you're talking about into a 2 and then into the Haomaru freaking slices that he does.
Right. Yeah, that was always a classic.
But so yeah, speaking of Soul Calibur 6 then.
Right, the game that seemed like it should not exist, and now it exists again, because I guess after the utter disasters that were Soul Calibur 4 and 5, they're still willing to take a shot.
Okay, so what's your bet? Which Assassin's Creed character are we getting this time?
We're not getting an Assassin's Creed character. We're getting a different crossover character. But I would say that after we got Darth Vader and Yoda, that all bets are off. You don't know who the fuck we're going to get for the next crossover character.
Well, I mean, just look at Tekken and then just realize that what's his freaking name? What's his face from Final Fantasy 15? Noctis. That's
right, yeah. And
so yeah,
Noctis in Tekken 7.
Yes, Noctis in Tekken 7. So, looking at this, as stupid as it sounds, I'm betting that Rugal will be in freaking Soul Calibur 6.
There is no way. Rugal is a fucking non-existent character, man. SNK has not really acknowledged Rugal in 15 years.
Which is a shame.
they brought in that fucking kid of his, Adelard or whatever, in KOF 11, which KOF 11 is a video game I have on PS2 that I absolutely need to get around to finishing. Fuck. But yeah, ever since they brought in Adelard, it was like, why even bring up Rugal ever again? We've got Rugal's moveset, and now we've got a fucking Bishonen girl boy to stick it on, and Japan loves those, so why ever bring Rugal back?
Because he's cool. I mean,
no, not in Japan. He isn't. In Japan, they're like, you
cut out again.
No, not in Japan. He isn't.
But yeah,
but I definitely wouldn't. I don't think we're not getting Rugal in KOF 14, and KOF 14 is going so hard that we're even getting Oswald. And Oswald was a character that's like, there's no fucking way that character's coming back. So
yeah, there's no hope left.
Rugal is dead and gone. For Soul Calibur, I would wager that we're going to get a medieval character of some kind. But I mean, it's anyone's ball game as to who it is.
Siegfried with pigtails.
Maybe. I almost would wager that we'd get Dante just because they came so close to putting Dante in the fucking one free-to-play Soul Calibur game that instead they wound up putting... No. They were almost going to put Dante in the free-to-play game. And that was also around the time they put Kratos in that one handheld Soul Calibur game, and that kept me confused. And I'd wager that there's an odd chance that we might get Dante. Just because Dante has the hilariously big sword, and Dante is your usual anime and loves, so...
Okay, so... I'm not sure, but, I will bring this up because you, speaking of Dante, made me remember. So, my bullshit Weeaboo series, the Sengoku Basuras, has a fighting game, so they might use the main character from that game, even if for Japan only, but they could.
I can't see it. I can't see it. Soul Calibur, I think, actually has a very, very, very large Western audience. Like, I think Soul Calibur is more popular in Europe than it is in Japan itself. I want to say I may be wrong there.
I'm not sure.
And the thing is, there is no way anyone in Europe knows what the fuck a Sengoku Basara is. Whereas the West definitely knows what Dante is. In the West, if they go with old classic Dante, the West loves classic Dante.
Which is why we will get Adam Lambert Dante.
Right. You had to remind me of that thing. That fucking that Dante is super fucking dead now, and I'm happy because they did Marvel vs. Capcom, and they brought back old Dante for that, and now they're talking about they're just gonna make a Devil May Cry 5 that will be a direct sequel to the old series and completely ignore the reboot. Thank fucking God.
Oh. Well, yeah, as for, to actually tell you why I brought the freaking Weeaboo series up again, it's because that series came out of Devil May Cry.
Sengoku Basara, this crazy fucking stupid anime samurai Mosu series came out of Devil May Cry. What?
Yes, it seriously did. I'm not sure if it was 4 or whichever game it was, but originally it was made into, or it was supposed to be a Devil May Cry series or a series game, but along the way they realized that it was stupid to include a game like that in the series, I guess. So they just made it into a historical, or a quote-unquote historical game, and then just released it as that.
Okay, so they were like, oh, well, shit, we've got this game engine running, but we don't like the story anymore. Well, let's just fucking ape Dynasty Warriors, but make it a little bit different.
Pretty much.
That sounds about right. That's an interesting tidbit, but at the same time, it's about a series I care about,
You cut out again, so...
That's an interesting tidbit, but I don't give a shit about Sengoku Basara, so...
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if anybody aside from me does anymore, because I'm not sure how the series is doing in Japan, even.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know
Japan's
that
going through a weird era in gaming, to my understanding, because they're at least according to Ted, they're actually kind of revolting against anime because anime is getting really westernized.
I don't know. I mean, like I'm not keeping a close eye to Japan that much. All I know is that the last game, the one that I actually own, tanked. So there's that. But the actual brand of Sengoku Basara it has to be at least somewhat, cared about because the plays are still going and things like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I will say that I do try close eye to Japanese video gaming now, at least partially because Western video gaming is dying super fucking hard for me. Because this era of increasing microtransactions, DLC, and like, initially I could deal with DLC. I wasn't one of the people who bitched about DLC early on. I don't. If you want to fucking add on to the game and make me pay for it, then whatever. But it's getting worse and worse over time, and they're going too far, and I just can't take it anymore. Like I'm paying attention to Japanese gaming because they haven't picked up those bullshit business practices yet. But I mean, it's getting so bad with Western gaming that I'm considering just trying to get out of the gaming hobby for the most part.
Well, for you, it might be easy to actually, pay attention to Japanese gaming because you have a box that plays Japanese games.
Yeah.
The US
yeah,
Japanese.
The fucking PS4 does play Japanese, doesn't it? Oh look, they totally don't fucking release this Japanese game for the Xbox, the console that like fucking 8 people in Japan own. Surprise, surprise.
But yeah, the US Japanese game that came out on the Xbox just came out. It's freaking Monster Hunter, but I hate Monster Hunter, so.
You and Brian, the two biggest Japanese gamers of the entire forum, are also the only members of the group that hate Monster Hunter, the series that is one of the most Japanese video game series ever. And you know who fucking loves Monster Hunter?
Soon.
Yeah, Soon. Admittedly, Soon's not it. Like, it'd be funnier if it was someone like Ted who was even more adamant about hating Japan stuff. Because, I mean, Soon does like Persona, and Soon fucking loves Persona. But Soon is one of the more adamant, like, won't even touch anime stuff. So it's hilarious that he loves those games.
Yeah, for me, I tried out the third game on the DS. Or the 3DS, I mean.
So, okay, yeah. Well, you're going to be tainted there on the 3DS because something tells me 3DS does not have technological power up to snuff for what Monster Hunter wants.
Well, I mean, I suppose I wouldn't know, but basically, my main problem was the gameplay itself because, I don't like games where I'm heavy for the sake of being heavy. Like, I'm carrying around these 2 gigantic knives. They are gigantic, I don't know why, but.
That's Monster Hunter.
Yeah, but I'm carrying around these knives, and I'm supposed to be the fastest, the DPS basically in the team. And then I go up to the monster, and then I can hit it maybe in a minute.
I'm
exaggerating, but
if you were you're definitely exaggerating. I didn't get to play too much with the small knives because when I played Monster Hunter during the open beta for Monster Hunter World a couple of weeks ago, I mostly used the bow, and I remember the speed on the bow being quite generous, especially the dodge roll. Like I don't know what you're talking about here. Right? You're definitely heavier than you would be in most given games, but it isn't particularly bad. I mean, it's roughly on level with Dark Souls, and it's definitely not to the degree that Dark Souls is,
Yeah, and that's basically my problem. I was about to compare it to Dark Souls because I don't like Dark Souls-like games, and it's not that the games are bad, it's just that I don't like, stamina systems. I don't like being held back for the sake of being held back because I guess that's what challenge is now.
Well, it's a good thing for you to hate Dark Souls in this era of gaming that is slowly coming to be defined by Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like,
I got Dark Souls 2, and I've got Dark Souls 2, and I made a little bit of progress, but I don't I just eventually hit a wall where it's like I don't feel like I'm getting enough joy out of how much effort I'm putting in this game. I don't feel like I'm getting the proper enjoyment out of it in return. With that said, though, I am really interested in picking up Bloodborne one day.
But yeah, so well, my problem basically with Dark Souls is because I never played a Dark Souls game. I thought about buying the third one because it was on sale, and I might as well, but it was still like $30, and I ain't freaking spending that much money on a game that I probably will hate. Then again, I did spend $10 on Sonic Adventure 2, and that's, I mean, I only like the Chow Garden, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I thought about it, but the thing is, my favorite game of all time is Contra, and Contra is hard. Like it's
Right, but Contra, of course, is a very different. Where Contra, you are very fast, but so are the enemies, and there's 1,000 projectiles on screen. You got to be precisely dodging.
yes, and that's what I love about Contra. It's that it doesn't hinder you. If anything, it just it puts you in a freaking I can't speak. So it puts you in a hard situation, but it doesn't hinder you for the sake of challenge.
I can see how that would definitely be a problem. I don't know. I'd rather have the slower, just because I'm stupid and my brain doesn't work quick enough for Contra. Anytime I
Well,
play, anytime I play a game like that, I wind up just double jumping into a fireball and dying immediately because I'm a fucking fool.
with Contra, just to speak of my memory and everything else like that. Well, you know how I can't even remember strings in fighting games, so
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it would kind of be hard for me to remember where the enemy placements are and things like that. No, I actually went through Contra, and I still can go through Contra in 20 minutes by trial by fire, basically. I just died and died and died again until my muscles remembered where to jump. So, and with Dark Souls, like it's the same thing with Dark Souls because you have to die and die and die and die again until you can get bested. But the difference for me, just by watching, um, footage of Dark Souls and having played Contra, is that with Contra, if I die, I die. That's it. Then I'm just back where I was, or if not back where I was, I just start over again. There's no waiting. With Dark Souls, I have to wait for the enemy to attack, I have to block his attack, then I have to wait for my attack animation to play, then I have to get hit while the attack animation plays, and then I have to figure out what to do while also probably dying.
Well, the thing is, you aren't supposed to get hit. You need to time your animations. You hit him perfectly during his sort of recovery frames,
Yes, and
and
that
then make sure that you get recover before he does.
yes, and that's my problem, that the game requires perfection. Pretty much.
Not,
Just
not, not exactly. No, it's actually pretty. The thing about Dark Souls is it's actually really easy once you get into the rhythm, but you can't slip up. You can't go absent-minded. You have to be focused. Because if the thing is, Dark Souls is absolutely the kind of series where it operates by a certain set of rules. And as long as you play within those rules, then you will have a fine time. But if you slip up and forget the rules, or if you try to play outside the rules, it will not work. And contrast that with, let's say I want to be the guy or some other ridiculously hard rules just get fucked. Dark Souls is pretty well off for the balls busting difficulty games.
well, yeah, I mean, looking at the games that came after Dark Souls that are supposed to be like Dark Souls, Dark Souls is probably the best of them because, even if it's trying too hard to be hard so much that it's, the enjoyment is sucked out of it. For me, probably. I mean, I'd have to try it to actually say an opinion on it, but
If you get an
regardless.
opportunity to pick up Demon Souls, I hear Demon Souls is down easy.
But yeah, because there's things like, as you said, I want to be the guy, or there's things like I want to be the guy clones, like, there's no time to explain. There's Enter the Gungeon. Enter the Gungeon I actually like, because it's like Contra but top-down view. So Contra 2 is what I'm saying.
I was about to say, you're listing games here that don't have difficulty of bullshit. Because
Actually,
the difference here is that if you're playing Enter the Gungeon, or if you're playing There's No Time to Explain, it operates by certain rules that you understand. I want to be the guy, you have to dodge these falling apples. But then once you get to the top of the trees, the apples start falling up, except that some of them fall down, and you can never predict it. So it is legitimately just trial and error. Like, you have to learn, oh yeah, these apples fall down, these apples fall up. And it's, a big old pile of bullshit.
Well, I brought up Enter the Gungeon because the devs specifically said that it was inspired by Dark Souls. So.
Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah. With Enter the Gungeon, my main problem is that my PC can't run it at a decent frame rate. So.
Ooh.
Well, yeah.
Could you not get it on Xbox?
It's like, freaking, what's the conversion rate? Bloody hell, I need to look it up. 1 second. So yeah, it's $20 for the Xbox, and it's like $10
less.
for. Huh?
I said less. So. You mean on Steam, I assume?
So yeah, I bought it on Steam because it was on sale. This is a reoccurring theme, by the way.
Yep.
So yeah, it was on sale for like, I don't know, €0.50, even less maybe.
Oh.
So yeah, I was like, okay, I kind of want that game, so maybe I'll pick it up. So I bought Enter the Gungeon. I bought Game Dev Tycoon because I'm addicted to Game Dev Tycoon.
Game Dev Tycoon is a fucking good game. It is also
you cut out again.
Terrible at. What?
You cut out again.
Ah, shit. Damn it, it keeps happening. Okay, Game Dev Tycoon is a game that is very, very, very fun, very enjoyable, very, very difficult. I cannot figure that game out to save my life. Like, the thing is with that kind of game is that you figure out there are certain patterns you have to do to get good, consistently high-rated games that sell very well. And I'm not good at figuring out that pattern. I'm good at just digging around and making games I want to make.
Well, after a while, if you do the research, then the game tells you.
Yeah, I know, but I do the research and I set up the game and it still comes out shit. So,
Maybe you're not spending enough development time or some other stupid bullshit at the game pulls. Like, I ran a company. It was called Revoltech. I'm not sure why. I think there's like a toy line called that in
Robotech?
Japan.
There's absolutely a Robotech anime.
No, not Robotech. Revoltech.
Oh, I've never heard of that. No.
I think there's like a toy line or a company, I think, that makes really well made action figures in Japan called Revoltech Yamaguchi or something like that. Anyways, back on topic. So I made a company called that, and I was like, I'll just make some games, and then maybe after I get like 2.55 million credits, I'll just go to the second stage. And I got 2.5 million, so I went to the second stage, and then the same level of quality games that got 8s and 7s got 4s.
Yeah, see, there's a thing I noticed in video game dev type.
You cut out again.
There's a thing I noticed, and I think it may just be that I'm just accidentally getting too far away from the mic. Anyways, the thing I noticed about Video Game Dev Tycoon is that the more quality games you put out, the higher expectations people have of you. So if you're only putting out the same quality games again and again and again, they're going to get low ratings, which forms this bullshit world of if you're a top-level game developer consistently, eventually people will hate your games because they're only the same level of good.
Well,
And
I
that
mean, it is
that is a
realistic.
bullshit. No, that's a bullshit mechanic because Rockstar, everybody fucking loves every game that Rockstar comes
I
out with. You
don't.
know,
I don't.
the
I'm.
critics love it. The critics love it, and they sell like fucking hotcakes or whatever they call it. And the
Well,
fucking
yeah.
and they all are roughly the same level of quality. So I mean that's not a good mechanic. And I think I remember the game running into lots of like that, where it's like, I get what they were going for here, both from a game design perspective and a realism perspective, but they're wrong because the real world is full of lots and lots of different varying cases where the same thing will happen in two different cases, but then it will lead to entirely different results for basically no reason, which is part of why it's very, very, very difficult to simulate real life and real life industry and business. Industry and business are very difficult things to understand. With that said, yeah, I'm not big on Rockstar either.
Yeah. Like it.
I mean, I
Yeah.
fucking love Red Dead Redemption. I fucking love Red Dead Redemption, and I am so hyped up for Red Dead Redemption 2. But GTA 5 is a game that exists. I bought it, and I beat it, and I tried to do a second playthrough, and the fucking game just broke its ass, and now I can't progress. Because you know that fucking mission where you have to break into the one CIA hideout to steal their
Yes.
fucking
Yeah.
bioweapon that they're building?
Yeah. I
And how
know.
the mission starts at this little port in the middle of nowhere. It's this little fucking dock in the middle of nowhere with a shed, and you go to talk to whatever your FBI asshole buddy.
Yeah.
And
I
for
don't
some
remember
reason,
his name.
yeah, Steve something. I every time I drive there, he gets scared off and runs away. Every
Mm,
time. So
mm.
now I can't finish my playthrough because the thing is fucking bugged and he gets spooked and runs away every time.
Are you in car or are you in a car or on foot when he gets scared?
I believe I've tried both. One of these days
Oh.
I'm gonna have to pick Michael or whoever's the sneakiest character and try to sneak in. I also tried to play GTA Online again. Well, this is imposing as shit, and I don't feel any encouragement to play with other people online because they're all a bunch of fucking 6-year-old brats. They're playing a Grand Theft Auto game. It is way, 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 way more mature than they should be playing. I feel no encouragement to actually progress here.
Yeah. Well, my experience with GTA 5 is that I bought it for retail price because it's still retail price pretty much everywhere that's not freaking well.
It's
I'm
a
pretty
five.
sure. Yeah.
It's a 5-year-old game, and they're still trying to sell it for $60 everywhere I see. It's ridiculous.
It is, but yeah, so I bought it for retail price, and then, like, for me, with my budget, it's one game, 1 year. Maybe in 2 years. I mean, it depends. But yeah, it's like one game, 1 year. So I chose that GTA 5 will be that game for that year. I don't remember when I bought it. So I buy it, I play through it, and then I was like, okay, I guess I see where people are coming from that this is a really good game. But then what happens if I play through it again? Because, the real for me, the real way to tell if a game is good or not if it holds up to multiple playthroughs. So
Yeah, that is one game that I would get tired of because Grand Theft Auto 5 does not have good shooting mechanics at all. Like getting into a gunfight does not feel like fun at all.
well
And
that yeah.
it has that Rockstar fucking what do they call it? The Havoc engine? It's not the Havoc engine. The Havoc engine is the regular physical engine that most games use. They have that one engine that they use where if your character gets like fucking kneecapped by a car, then he's gonna spin around and then fucking hobble for 5 miles before eventually falling over. You know that one where you lose control of your
Yeah.
character and
Yeah.
the physics just freak out. Yeah, it has that system, which makes like melee fights are so terrible in Grand Theft Auto.
They are.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious because your characters are just fucking flailing at each other with knives and crowbars, and your character misses by a mile and still kills them. And it's like the most limp-wristed knife slash or stab you'll ever see. And
But yeah.
I love melee fighting in games. I'm always a big melee fighter, and why the fuck is Twitch updating right now? Go the fuck away, Twitch. And it's so disappointing, like running up to a guy with a crowbar, and my character makes the motion of like slapping them with the end of the crowbar. He stops just short of the guy's face, and the guy falls over. It's underwhelming, basically.
Yeah. So, yeah, with my replaying thing, I played through GTA 5 more times than any normal human person would probably, basically.
On the bright side, Grand Theft Auto 5 has such a huge world and enough variants that you can play through, and it's very different every time. And it's also got the 3 different endings, so there's that.
So yeah, so I played through it like 4 or 5 times. And
I'm pretty sure Mike has played through the game even more times.
Okay, holy shit.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Well, yeah, so I played through the game 4 or 5 times, and each time I played through the game, I enjoyed it less and less, because, you know, like, games just wear on you. I mean, like, I can't fire up Assassin's Creed Brotherhood anymore because I played through it 8 times, but if
My
tomorrow...
God.
But if I started a new file tomorrow, I would play through it and enjoy myself.
I've probably played through Dead Rising like 6 times, but not 8. And Dead Rising is a fucking short game. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I have a problem with things like this, but yeah. So, I play through... You know, normally if I play through a game an obscene amount of times because there's no better way to put it, you know, I can't look at it after a point. But if it's a good game, or, you know, if it's something that I find good, then if I just put it on and after I get past the, you know, the starting feel of disgust at having to play the same thing again, then if I'm enjoying myself, then, you know, then I find it to be a good game, because if I can enjoy it past the feeling of what am I even doing anymore, then, you know, there's something good in it.
Yeah, I want to understand how you could even get through GTA 5 times, because, like, eventually once you get past a certain point, I already am annoyed by lots of characters in that game. I think Michael is very, very whiny and bitchy, and I think Trevor, it's like, oh yeah, ha ha, path, ha ha, he eats people. I don't care. It's just generic quirkiness. So I'd imagine that'd get on your nerves very quickly. Like, Franklin would be the only character you can tolerate, and that's because Franklin's barely a character to begin with.
I actually like Michael the best out of the 3 because I don't know. I mean,
because he's so pissed at constantly doing what he has to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like, Franklin I dislike because he literally gets handed pretty much everything, and then he never does anything with it or with anything. Like, he gets a motorcycle, then he uses that if you wish so, but, you know, he gets a house, he moves in, but that's about it. Then he gets money, but what to do with that money? There's literally nothing to do with money in the game after a point.
Yes, there absolutely is not anything to do with that money, and it's tormenting. In terms of Franklin not doing anything, I mark it up to Franklin actually being a regular, sane individual. Because Michael or Trevor gets that kind of thing, and Michael will inevitably throw a hissy fit about how he feels bad about getting old, and he'll blow it up for some reason. Trevor will blow it up because he got pissed that he couldn't fuck somebody. Franklin doesn't blow the shit up. Franklin's like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to go hang around my house and probably smoke pot and eat chips. Like
But
Franklin's a huge criminal. Franklin loves committing crimes, and he does it for tons of money. But at the end of the day, Franklin just is a regular guy.
well, yeah. But on the other hand, there could be something you could do, like call people over and do something in the house, But
Oh
that's
well,
just
considering how badly people shit pants, no, you can't. Did I cut out again? Fuck.
yes.
Okay, considering how badly people shit their pants over GTA 4's, past times, I'd imagine they're just trying to avoid that. With that
But
said,
and speaking of, yeah.
With that said, there's lots of stuff from the old GTAs they could have gone for. GTA 5 would have benefited from, and like more of an emphasis on buying businesses and investing than is currently in the game. Which there is some buying businesses, like you can go and buy the fucking weed shop if you're Franklin or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
the thing is, like, you make so little profit off of those things. It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Just finish the final mission, get your 25 million, and then invest it in whatever fucking company, and have Franklin assassinate the leader of that company, and then whatever.
Yeah, as for pastimes, basically all of our I don't have GTA 5 installed on my Xbox anymore because it was just there to take the place basically because
all fucking 80 gigs of the place, yeah.
Yes, because I really need this new freaking internet update that I won't ever use because I don't ever play online. But
yep.
yeah,
there we go.
But even looking past that, like, all I did in GTA 5 once I finished the story was either A, start a new playthrough so I can freaking torment myself more with it, I guess, or B, get everyone together and then go golfing or playing tennis or something, because golfing and tennis were the only things that I liked in the game.
Yeah, that is a neat thing about GTA 5. Prime game, and there's also golf. Who wants to play fucking Hot Shots?
You cut out again.
No, I made a joke about a stupid PS2 golf game back in the day.
Oh.
I'd love to get Mike on the podcast one day, because I'd just love to see you and Mike go at it regarding that game. Because I'm not huge on GTA 5, but I don't feel strongly enough about it to really be too opposed to it. But Mike utterly fucking loves that game, so I'd be interested to see what would happen if you two talked about it.
But I don't necessarily hate it, I'm just really disappointed. Really, because it's a good game and everything, but, not most, like, the biggest grossing game or things like that. Like, I don't feel that it's deserving of that title.
Well, it's Grand Theft Auto. It was going to take it anyway. But
as for Red Dead Redemption 2, which, it's coming out in October, I think.
October 26th, yes.
Yeah, well, basically, as far as, I never played the Red Dead Redemption game, which is to say that I never played Red Dead Redemption, because the other one was Red Dead Revolver, I think. But yeah.
Red Dead Revolver, yes. I've played both, actually. I enjoyed both.
But yeah, so I never played a Red Dead game. And I'm not necessarily looking forward to Redemption 2 because it's a post-GTA 5 game and it's a Rockstar game. And, I mean, I never was really big on Rockstar games for one. Like, I was indifferent at first, but now that I have GTA 5 and I also own GTA San Andreas, but GTA San Andreas is, freaking 12 or so years old now. Even more, probably. Yeah, it's like 14.
I also own San Andreas, and every time I try to play it, I cannot get past the fucking train mission.
I got past it, legitimately. And then I deleted this. Was followed
then. All you had to do was catch damn train, CJ. Yeah, I don't fucking give a shit. Yeah, you beat it somehow?
Yes, I legitimately beat it somehow. I don't remember how. I think I might have fell on the train by accident and then just had Big Smoke shoot everyone.
I think that's what you're supposed to do, but I was never able to do it. I always overshot the train real bad and just wound up on the other side.
Oh. Well, yeah. The best thing that for me that to come out of GTA San Andreas was that I'm sure you know it because it's been used as a meme. Or maybe it's a meme. I'm not sure anymore. But yeah, everything is a meme now.
Everything is a meme now.
But that you reposted in the wrong neighborhood song.
Ah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it, but I know the saying. Wrong neighborhood, motherfucker. I know that saying.
That's okay. Well then, I guess I will have to do some more editing, and I will put it in here. Let's see your reaction to this, because there's multiple versions of it. There's like as many versions of it as you can imagine. Like I'm pretty sure that there's even a you are number one version of it.
Oh God, can we not venture into that neighborhood of me?
We won't.
For that matter, can we just not go into memes, please? Oh.
But yeah, so here's the original, and then this had a San Andreas version where it's Big Smoke's order from that one mission with the drive-thru, which is called drive-thru. But you know.
Oh Jesus. Hang on, let's see this shit. Well, this sounds like a typical rap song. I don't get the meme part here, other than the fact that Shaggy's upside down face.
I don't either, to be honest. Like, you know, it's an alright song. That's about it.
Oh, it's a terrible song. I don't know why you'd say it's alright, but at the same time...
Look, when most of the songs that you hear is freaking yeah or whatever from that He-Man parody, because my niece likes it. And things like that, and freaking Finger Family, anything is good.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. I don't even want to know what, like, Hungarian rap sounds like.
Oh, brother.
Don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare. I have to listen to the modern equivalent of American rap already, and it's garbage.
At least Hungarian rap is not mumble rap.
At least it isn't mumble rap. That's exactly what modern American rap all is. It's just fucking mumble rap, and I don't get it. And like, I like the old classics of rap. I liked Ice Cube and Dr. Dre and fucking Run DMC and Wu-Tang Clan and all them. I like them, but like, it doesn't compare. It's an entirely different beast now, and it's something much, much worse.
I agree. I can't freaking say his name. Kendrick Lamar. There.
Right.
It's supposed to be good.
Who's working on Black Panther, right?
I'm not sure what he's working on, but he's supposed to be good.
I've never bothered to listen. I've heard the name come up before, but I just don't. I have so little trust in modern rap that I don't even bother to look into anything. Alright, so back to gaming.
Yeah, back to things that we want to talk about, actually.
Yeah, things that do not torment my soul.
Seaman, the video game.
Oh man, did you hear that fucking the new Bubsy game came out and it's actually still terrible?
I mean, that's the only thing that Bubsy can be.
I mean, like, the game only has 12 levels.
How much does it cost again?
$30, I think. It might have launched at 40.
Okay, well,
and they're not long levels either. They're like regular Mario levels.
Oh. Well, I might pick it up on sale because I hate myself.
For like a fucking nickel. There are world's better games that you could pick up, Addy, you know?
Look, I bought worse. I freaking have...
Oh, I'm aware you bought worse. Oh, as for let's see. Oh, they're still working on Shaq Fu. Why the
Well,
hell are we? Why the hell did you? You bring this energy to the podcast that makes me stop talk about the stupid fucking dumbass meme games. Oh man, but I trust that Shaq Fu is going to be at least mediocre instead of outright bad, if only because Shaq his name is still attached to it, and I think they put in more care this time.
I doubt it.
Yeah, maybe I'm being a little optimistic. In
Well,
terms of other stuff,
at the very least, they can put Shaq's hot mixtape in into the soundtrack, the one that he
I
had like back in the 90s.
yeah, Shaq was young at one point. He was in fact young, even though it's very difficult to picture that.
Have you heard his songs?
No, don't post them for fuck's
I
sake.
won't.
I'm tired of having to listen to dumbass music for these podcasts and having to react to it. But for game, just throw out a topic. What are you playing right now? Like in the last week, what have you been running through in terms of gaming?
In terms of gaming, well, as I've said, I have been trying to get through Naruto because I literally have nothing better to do. Then I've also started my third playthrough of Assassin's Creed 3 because I'm actually recording it for my second channel, which I started like a week ago.
Oh, all right. I'm not subscribed to that. I'll go subscribe to that now.
It's literally just Atita Hero second because I'm good at names.
There you go. Yeah, I'd actually be interested to see what you could do with Let's.
Huh? You cut out again.
It's a Let's Play channel, right?
Yes, more or less. I mean, I'll shitpost sometimes, but that shitposting is mainly for my Twitter at the moment.
Yeah, that. All right, I'm interested to see what you can do with that. And let's see here. But you're
So,
playing through Assassin's Creed 3, right?
well, I'm
Isn't that
playing. Yeah.
okay? Isn't that one of the ones that like everybody shits their pants over and they lose their mind?
Yes,
Whatever.
because Connor is made of cardboard.
Right. I don't know. I liked Connor. I didn't get too far in the game. I probably barely got to the halfway point, but I enjoyed it. It was all right.
My experience with Connor is actually varying because my first playthrough, I just went through the story. I really freaking hated Connor. So then I went back and started another save. I did every mission that I could before finishing the story, and with the homestead missions, I actually started to like Connor. So now my opinion on Connor is that he's in the wrong game, basically, because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, because there was no way that people would like him as much as Ezio, especially after Ezio.
It's different cases, you know. I mean, I
Well,
find
yeah.
I find it to be I find Connor way better just because Ezio is just kind of generic. I mean, for what he is in terms of, hey, I'm Italian and I also about sex and things and whatever. And Ted bitches about that way more than I do, so I don't need to. My point has already been made by Ted for me. But oh, by the way, that Eddie the Hero 2 channel, you should probably go ahead and link it to your regular channel, your review channel, because right now I'm having a bit of a difficult time finding it.
1 second. I mean, I have it in my thing, but I forgot to update my bloody thing.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, because I have it in my latest review. It's at the end. But I forgot to update the actual thing that is at the side. So 1 second, let me update that while we record this because I am professional.
Yep, there we go. But I liked Connor because Connor doesn't really he's not really a cartoon character. He just is is this kind of realistic, reasonable guy trying to deal with a lot of different factions vying for power in this situation, none of whom really have the best interest of him or his people in mind. So on one hand, you feel for him being cynical in this situation, but at the same time, at times you feel like, he should probably get off his ass and help people more.
Well, it's well, as I've said, I first thought that at first I hated it. Now I just think that he's, he wasn't in at the right place at the right time. But yeah, with my experience with Connor, I think that he's all right. Like, I will always like Ezio more just on the fact that Ezio was the first character that I met, which is actually funny because the first two games that I bought, Assassin's Creed games, were Brotherhood and 3. So, yeah. So I will always like Ezio better just because he's the first character that I met in the Assassin's Creed series. But Connor is, like, I found him to be bad at first, but after I actually, gave him a chance, and by gave him a chance, I mean that I actually played to the Homestead missions, because that's the only place where he actually gets a character, of any type, or at least as far as I could tell.
I also played Brotherhood for. I didn't find myself enjoying it. I mean, I enjoyed Brotherhood a lot, but I didn't find myself particularly enjoying Ezio, or just because he was the first.
Well, I liked it. I'm not bloody hell words. So yeah, I can't really pinpoint what I like about Ezio. Like, I think that the main reason why I like him is that he grows. Like, first he's actually this Italian stereotype of I eat cheese and have sex with women or something. I'm not sure. I don't know any Italian stereotypes.
Oh my god, you're actually fucking closer to Italy, and I'm because you're supposed to be the ones who are stupid and don't understand other countries. What's going on?
The only Italian stereotype I know is that they have lots of sex. So
I'm an Italian. I like to eat cheese and have lots of sex with women. Okay, I guess. I mean, you're not wrong.
But yeah, so.
Oh man!
But yeah, so first he starts out like that, and I actually dislike Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 2 words, a bit because of Ezio's character in it. Because at first he's annoying, and even I can see that he's annoying, and I'm an Ezio fanboy, so yeah. And so yeah, that's why I dislike the first half, or like the first three quarters of Assassin's Creed 2, because by the end of Assassin's Creed 2, he's more like the way he is in Brotherhood. In Brotherhood, he starts out, I guess, arrogant, kind of. I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't played through the game recently enough to actually remember, but the more he builds the Brotherhood, the better the more well thought out he becomes, I guess. And I'm not saying that his writing becomes better. I'm saying that his character is more passable, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't act as immaturely or impulsively.
Yeah.
With that said, Brotherhood, I mean, for me, it seemed more like a case with Brotherhood where Ezio isn't really the main focus of the story or the character development necessarily, as much as it focuses on the characters around Ezio, such as Machiavelli and, what's her name,
yes.
Sforza. And there was a lot of focus on the Pope's son there, Cesare.
Cesare, or something like that. Cesare. It was Cesare. Cesare. I'm freaking speaking Hungarian.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah. And with Revelations is my favorite Ezio, basically, because as much as I don't like the setting of the game, and as much as I am really indifferent about the game itself, the way Ezio acts in the game and the way he's portrayed as somebody who's too old for this shit and he knows it.
Old man Ezio, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I really like that. I like that he's, well, I like that he's wiser, but he's also, that he gives less shits, basically, about everything. Like, he just freaking sets fire to a village in a cave. And then he's like, well, whatever, I killed the guy I wanted, now bye. And then just leaves.
Yeah, I could see the appeal there. I don't know. I've never played through Assassin's Creed 2 or Revelations. I have seen the flashback scenes in Brotherhood and where he's an annoying punk ass as a kid. I've beaten the entirety of Brotherhood.
But even if you don't play 2, which I understand, but yeah, you should definitely get Revelations. It's like $10. So
yeah. I don't know. With Assassin's Creed, it's like I bought Black Flag. I've got it right here, right next to me. I could put it in the PS4 anytime and play through it. I just don't care. I can't bring myself to.
But yeah, that's Black Flag. It's a freaking pirate simulator. You forgot that I hate Black Flag.
Yeah, I was about to say, you hate Black Flag, don't you?
Well, I hate Black Flag less. I more hate the fans that Black Flag brought, because well, kind of. I mean, I like Edward. Like, I can't say that he's a bad character. I can't say that the story in Black Flag is bad, because it's not. It's just that the gameplay is so one-sided. It's just freaking sailing. Like,
tailing. I heard a lot about tailing in that game.
Not tailing, sailing. Or tailing people as sailing. And tailing as well, yeah. But
sailing and tailing, the life of Edward Kenway.
Yes. But, like, as much as I like Edward and as much as I like the story itself, because I really do enjoy the story, I just don't have the drive to play the game, because I hate sailing so much that it just ruins the game for me, and it's a pretty, important gameplay when 90% of the time you will spend on this game is on a ship.
Yep. Yeah, I can see how that would hurt the game a lot for you.
So yeah, that's basically my problems with Black Flag. Like, it's a really good game, but I was always more of a ninja than a pirate guy, so
yeah.
As proven by my weeaboo-ness and my hate of sailing, I guess. Yeah. Also, yeah.
No, you keep going. I was going off on a different thought.
I was about to say that also, I guess, my somewhat love of Naruto, like.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
So yeah, it took me this long to update the thing, by the way.
To update what? Oh, to update the thing. Okay, let me go ahead and set that up.
And 1 second, let me check if it actually updated or not. It didn't.
Oh, well, shit.
Bloody hell. Maybe I have too many people? No? Okay, check now. Now it's there.
Okay. Alright, let me go ahead and subscribed. Right, so, you're doing playthroughs of 2 Assassin's Creed games at once?
Yeah, I started the playthrough of Assassin's Creed Origins with commentary, because with Assassin's Creed Origins, I can just frickin' sounds, yeah? So with Assassin's Creed Origins, I can just re-record the thing if I need to, because it's an RPG game. It's not an Assassin's Creed game. Like, it was made by Assassin's Creed 4's development team, so you'll know that I like it while I also hate it.
Yeah, it sounds like, yeah.
Like, as a game, and this is my opinion is the same for Black Flag. I like it as a game. If I don't look at it as a part of the Assassin's Creed series, I really do like it, because it really is a good game. As a part of the series, however, there's just not enough assassin part to it that I like it as a part of the series, which is why I thought of giving both of these games 2 scores, because, you know, there's only so much I can do to not be biased, and giving 2 scores to a game, one for it as a general game and one as a part of a series, might be the fix to that. But yeah. And as for
that's understandable. I mean, I'm sure there's been a couple of examples of games and series where I don't think I've ever had an example of a game series where I didn't like an entry because I thought it was different. But it's understandable in this case, definitely. I mean, what I have gotten to play with Black Flag, it was very heavy on the emphasis of sailing and then going to a fucking island and shooting a cheetah so you can steal its skin. Because I guess everything is Far Cry now.
That is literally just a game. And by the way, if you want to upgrade your your shit, I mean that as well. But if you want to upgrade your ship so that you won't get shot to shit by the legendary ships, or even just the higher level ones, you will need to do so much freaking map stuff. Like, you find maps in these random battles, and then you need to go to the coordinates, and then you need to find where the map leads. But sometimes it's underwater, sometimes it's not actually where the coordinates lead, because you need to go underwater so you can go into a cave which leads to the part where you need to be. And it's just bullshit like that that really ruins it for me. Also the emphasis on sailing, but just...
I think I can live with that, because in Brotherhood, I was assholes that went and did every one of those stupid Roman dungeons to get the top level armor.
I did that as well, but I didn't need to go underwater and then find a random ass cave in the middle of the freaking ocean to get to a cave of Romulus or whatever.
Right, but you did have to go underground in a cave in the middle of ancient Roman architecture to find it. Like, I don't remember too well. I don't remember it being very easy. That's for sure.
I mean, that's the one that I do last always, because, wait.
I always do it I did it as early as possible. So play through the rest of the game with the fucking crazy powered.
I really hate the freaking armor of Brutus because it looks like ass. It has a freaking skirt.
I mean, you're in Rome. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. That was a stupid opportunity for a cheesy. Anyways, I always took it because I am a cheap ass that wanted to save a ton of money by not having to actually buy the armor that was available in the shops. Because I'd rather invest the money in buying actual shops so that I can make the money back. So for me, I went for the armor of Brutus as immediately as possible, so that I could just get the best possible armor without spending any actual money.
I just spent my time freaking counter killing everyone, so I didn't really need the armor to begin with, really. So when I did want to get more or better armor, I had the money, because whatever. Really, the thing that I rushed to the most is going to the Thieves Guild the fastest route possible, because then I can get the Wetlands Ebony and Wetlands Ebony freaking dye for my clothes, and Wetlands Ivory dye for the cape. So I keep... Yeah?
I didn't get to mess around with the dye system because it just does not let you dye it.
Yeah. Another reason why it sucks. To me.
Another reason, yeah. But yeah, weren't there some enemies that were just totally invulnerable to counter kills in that game?
Well, I mean, there were, but you could just dodge their attacks and then kick them in the groin and then kill them. So
That game was very big on kicks to the balls. I remember that. I don't know. I have semi-fond memories of Brotherhood, but at the same time, Assassin's Creed is not a series I can really feel myself going into. Because it is, for me, just like, hey, do these story missions, collect this money, open these shops, whatever. And
do you like The Witcher 3?
Shit. I did buy The Witcher 3. I got like an hour into it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll come back and finish this later. And I never came back and finished it later.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking because Assassin's Creed Origins is basically just what if we took out Geralt from Witcher 3 and put in Bayek, also in Egypt.
Oh, the comparison I always heard was to Dark Souls.
I mean, depends on what part of it or what part you look at it, because the overworld gameplay is pretty much just Witcher 3 and Skyrim. The fighting is Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Yeah. Oh. Needless to say, most of my time fighting in that game is spent with regular swords, and then I just use charge heavy attack, which is a really broken thing. Like, you just hold down the heavy attack, and then when you release it, Bayek swings, and if it hits the people, then they get knocked down if they're not shielding anything. If they are, then they're no matter what shield they use, they will their shield will get broken. So, you know, it really is a broken thing, but I am not complaining because otherwise I would hate the fighting mechanic.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that seems like something you would have really lost your shit over. Why aren't you losing your shit over it?
There's also this thing where it's not stamina based, so...
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. When I played Dark Souls, I never had a problem with stamina. But my style in Dark Souls, I didn't block or go for direct combat. I would always just dodge roll around to their backs and backstab them every time. I played like a cowardly asshole. But, I mean, we were intending to going into this podcast, we were talk about Tekken, and now we've spent forever talking about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, well, so, we talked about a number of things, really.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, you're right, speaking of Assassin's Creed, have you heard the news?
What news?
There's a new one, well, technically not a new one, but a new one. You'll see where I'm going. Coming out near to my birthday. In March 22nd, I think? Somewhere around there.
Okay, a newer Assassin's Creed. You mean DLC for Assassin's Creed Origins?
Nope. A whole game.
Okay, is this some kind of thing where you're going to circle around and it's not even an Assassin's Creed game, but you're saying it's like an Assassin's Creed game?
Nope. It's an actual Assassin's Creed game. Hear this. Assassin's Creed Rogue is getting a remaster. I shit you not.
I don't care.
I don't either. Because...
Liberation getting... Did they ever port Liberation to the main game?
Yes, they did.
Okay, because Liberation actually seemed kind of interesting, because it was the only Assassin's Creed with a female protagonist, and she was like half black in colonial times, so there's that whole racism element. And also they had that weird thing where she could like change between outfits, right? Where she could dress up as an assassin, she could dress up as a noble lady, she could dress up as a slave, right? Wasn't that the thing they had?
Yeah. Yes, okay, that was it.
That seems like a lot of really interesting mechanics. Rogue, to my understanding, it was just Black Flag, but you get to play as a Templar, and who gives a shit? We just needed a game to come out with 360 because Unity can't go on old tech.
Okay, so here's the difference between Assassin's Creed 4 and Rogue. Ice, Hayden Kenway. That's it.
Is Hayden Edward's father?
No, Hayden is Edward's son. He's Rotten. I just freaking recorded a video saying his name. It's freaking Raton Haketon's father. No. Bloody hell.
Oh, right. Hatham. I thought you said Hayden. Okay, Hatham? You
No.
play as Hatham you don't play as Hatham
No.
in Rogue?
No, he's just a really big... He has a really big part in Rogue. From what I
Okay,
understand.
So does Rogue show off how Hatham became a Templar?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. Rogue shows off how... or, what he did, I guess, between when Connor got to kill him and him going to America, I think. Or maybe before that, I'm not sure. Also, Rogue shows what happened to the colonial assassins.
Okay.
Like, you get to shoot Achilles in the knee, I think.
Right, the one from Freedom Cry, you get to kill him.
No, yeah, you get to kill freaking Adivale.
Right, and wasn't Adewale a major in Black Flag? Wasn't he like your first mate or something?
He was.
Okay, right. This was all the stuff I remember hearing about. I mean, I'm sure it's very, very cool for people who are Assassin's Creed fans, and I'm sure it's cool for someone like Ted who loved the sailing and probably wants to try it out again. Unless did Ted already play Rogue?
Nope, I don't believe that he did. He said that he wanted to buy it. He's on the fence on buying it, but... Well, yeah, he said that he's on the fence on buying this version because he's never played it.
Huh. Yeah, he'll probably get around to playing. Because he was real big on praising Black Flag, so he probably would enjoy having another set to go for there. And I mean, that's cool. That's cool, but I mean, as someone who played one Assassin's Creed game to completion, played through like the first half of Assassin's Creed 3, and I played like the first hour of Unity and fucking hated it. So ultimately, Assassin's Creed is at this point a series that exists for me. I've had my fun out of it, but at the same time, I've had enough bad experiences playing it that I feel no encouragement to properly get back into the series. So I mean, it's a thing I think is cool for that, for you guys, for the Assassin's Creed fans. but
here's the...
I don't give a shit.
And here's my but, because it's not cool for me. Because when it first got announced, I nearly said aroused. Yes, a freaking game got aroused. Anyways.
Yeah.
Actual English sentences. So, when it first got announced, it popped up the Ubisoft Club or whatever, the Uplay shop or whatever the hell else it has been called in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So I was playing through, I don't even know what, an Assassin's Creed game, that's enough to know. So yeah, I was playing through something, and then I went into the Uplay shop, or whatever, and then just a new game pops up before the announcement. It was like on the day of the announcement, so I just haven't seen it, but whatever. So a new game pops up, and I'm like, oh cool, this guy looks cool. And then I go and look at the things that you can get for the Ubisoft points, and then I'm like, okay, there are some things that I'm kind of interested in, and then I just see the trailer, and it's about the guy who's turned Templar, and the concept didn't seem that bad, but it seemed sudden. So yeah, because it was too sudden for me, I ended up not getting it. So I said that I'll take a look at it when it comes out and then decide for myself. And then it just turns out that it's basically the same game, only the names are switched between Assassin and Templar. So I was like, why bother? It's freaking Assassin's Creed 4 on ice.
Well, I'm sure that several people just want a game where they could play as Templar. I mean, they're completely welcome to have that.
Well, yeah.
A lot of people really enjoyed the ship mechanics of Black Flag, so just bringing that back, but only for some people, because a lot of people also hated the ship mechanics. So dividing the series up so that some games continue with the ship mechanics and some games don't makes for...
You cut out again. Oh, shit. Bloody hell.
Really care, you know?
Right, so, my internet got disconnected for the last couple of seconds, so you'll need to repeat that.
Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah, so the series is very clearly divided up into the sailing game, running kind of division in the fan base because between the people who enjoy sailing and people who don't, such as yourself and Ted. So this game's divided up, and I think that's a good strategy. But at the same time, I don't really care enough about these games to talk about the subject too much. And I could try and force myself to continue talking about Assassin's Creed, but I mean, I don't really care. Not anymore. It's just kind of a series like Call of Duty, that a game series that exists, and it gets pumped out every year. And I'm happy for whatever fans may exist of it, but for it to be such a central aspect of modern gaming, I don't really care enough to put much into talking about these games or thinking about these games, and I certainly am not going to go out and hash out $60 to pick up one of these games. So you can understand my hesitance on talking about the topic.
Yeah, just as a closing thought on it then. It would be fine if it was divided up into different games. One for sailing fans and one for people who don't like the sailing. But then there's parts of Origins, and then even the pre-order mission for Origins is based on sailing. So yeah, there's a closing thought.
Yeah, there it is. Oh man. Meanwhile, like that's what you've been. I don't know how we got here from playing this week, but you said you're playing Naruto, right? And that somehow led to that.
I said that I was playing Naruto, and we got here because I said that I was playing Assassin's Creed 3 for the second channel. So yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right, so going back to topic, after like 30 minutes of Assassin's Creed talk. Bloody hell. I'm not sure what else I was playing really because, well, there's not much else in my life at the moment aside from school, Assassin's Creed, and finishing Naruto.
Well, you said you finished the third one, so I'd assume you're pretty close to finishing them all, right?
Well, I finished all of them already. I'm just trying to get all S ranks in both the third and the fourth.
Oh, okay. Right, you said that.
So yeah.
Is there really any purpose to doing that other than bragging?
Achievements.
Oh, achievement. So there's no purpose.
Nope. But I get to say that I have an achievement that only 2.98% people have.
Alright.
That's pretty much it. Case in point.
If that's all you've been playing, then I suppose I should talk about what I've been playing.
Sure, go ahead.
Obviously, I have been trying to get back into Tekken. Already talked about that. Meanwhile, I have been playing kind of the games I've been playing regularly for the past couple months, which I've been putting a little bit of time into Injustice 2. Not so much now. Like with fighting games, I get really, really, really fucking in for months on end. And I was playing just tons and tons and tons of Injustice 2 until eventually, like, over time, I become to see the holes in the system, and it becomes a bit more cynical. And in this particular case with Injustice 2, I'm really coming to see the holes in the gear system, namely in its focus on loot boxes. Because you play Tekken, and you build up your money over time, and there's the unlockable stuff you get from chests, which it's annoying that you have to get the randomly dropped chests that give you random supplies that you don't know what the fuck you're getting, and it's annoying to have to grind for those all the time, right? Right. So imagine if Tekken didn't have the shop at all. All of the stuff like the t-shirts and the fucking shower cap on your head and the fucking Santa hat, all that stuff came from the randomly dropped chests that give you random loot.
It's already like that. So
not yet. Well, the
I
Santa
mean,
hat's the Santa
it's
hat's getting fun,
halfway.
right?
It's halfway there. So yeah.
It's getting closer, yeah. And that is all Injustice is. And the thing is, Injustice attaches stats, which separates the things, and you'll like have two items that look identical but are considered to be different items because they have stats. Which means that you'll end up with 30 fucking items for, say, Black Canary that are just her mask, like they're identical domino masks. And it's like, you can get actual items for Black Canary that are like face painting things, and you want to get those, but you can't get those because the game is always giving you the fucking domino. And
And then you also don't even play Black Canary.
I also don't play Black Canary. That's totally right. And so I end up in this situation where, because it's stats and it gives me tons of duplicates for these items, and I've been playing the game for like over 150 hours, maybe over 200 hours, and I'm trying to get everybody's gear. And like, I just can't get. There's certain characters that just won't give me anything. Like Batman, all I'm getting for Batman is crazy fucking cyborg robo outfits for Batman, and I just want a regular Batman outfit that's him in a suit, not a crazy fucking robot suit, but like just regular suit, you know. And it doesn't drop like that for me, so I'm getting that's tiring me a little bit. And they came out with the Atom and Enchantress. I really like the way Atom plays, but I don't feel any encouragement to play him. And Enchantress she brings a new playstyle to the table, but I don't feel any encouragement to play her. And they're going to come out with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles soon, in like probably a week from now. And I'm gonna try my best to start playing them, but you know, it's becoming difficult. It's becoming very difficult to play the game. With
Well,
that,
yeah.
that said, I assume you don't have anything to just.
You cut out again.
Fuck. Okay, so I assume you don't have anything to say about Injustice. Anything to say here?
I mean, with Batman, the game might want you to cosplay as the Arkham Knight.
That is very likely. They're very disturbing about Batman, Arkham Knight. Oh man. Yeah. I also have been playing Total War Warhammer 2, which was a game I picked up about 2 months ago, which is a game that is one of Soon's big games that you'll soon hammer on about.
And yeah, I watch a guy that plays it, so I have some knowledge of it.
Right. It's like, I was really cynical going in. Like, Soon had kept saying for a long time they wanted me to pick so that we could play multiplayer in it. And you know, I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool, and I'd love to do that to play multiplayer, but I don't think I'll really enjoy this game because I played Total War Rome way back in the day because I got it for like $1 on Steam, and I just couldn't really get around to enjoying it. But at least partially because it had a lot of tech issues that I had to try and work out. And so I was worried that I wouldn't really enjoy this, and I did eventually just end up picking it up because I think it was on sale. Just to play it with Soon, and I played like an hour of the campaign as the High Elves, and then an hour turned into 15 hours, and so on and so forth, and now I can't fucking stop playing the game, and after 2 months, I am already up to 410 hours in that game.
Oh, well then.
It's super fucking good, man. So many ways.
You know, I would look into it, but then how do I put it? Well,
it's expensive.
Not only that, I mean, my rig couldn't run it either, but just looking past those issues, even if everything was, you know, optimum for me to be able to play it, even then, I'm way too freaking dumb. So
I am too. But once you start playing it, it starts to make sense, and it starts to click, and you'd never think it would.
W, I own Civilization 2, and I'm too stupid to not get killed.
That's Civilization. Civilization is an entirely different thing. The Civilization, it's like, oh yeah, you gotta plot out your choice between science and culture and military, and I wrong choice. I do well enough to do okay on most difficulties in Civ, but that's an entirely different ballgame because that you're planning out an economy and everything. Total War, the economy is the backbone for the funding of your economy. I mean, for the funding of your army, but it's more so about killing people. And if you're on easy difficulty, then it's easy enough just to throw your armies in hordes at the opponent and just auto resolve and let the AI sort out the battles because you can absolutely just let the AI take over the battles for you. And there are a few factions like the Beastmen that wouldn't be a very smart choice for because the Beastmen are ultra fragile and they also don't have cities, but that's a whole other thing. But I really love about this game, it's very intricate, very detailed, so that all of the different races play very differently. So your regular Empire humans play different from your Bretonnian humans, and they play different from the Greenskins, and they play different from High Elves, and they play different from the Wood Elves, and so on and so forth. And it's this very interesting case of a game where you can start up a campaign, and these campaigns are going to run you like 50 hours of game time. But there's already in the game there are already, let's see, 14 factions in the game, and they all play very, very different. And they all have very unique playthroughs. So it feels different every time. And the thing is, several of those 14 factions have individual sub factions that, like, also play very differently. So it's this game with loads of content. And it's all very set up very well to the point where the factions play as you feel like they should play. Because you've got this one faction, say the Beastmen, who are this horrible faction of mutants that everybody hates. Humanity hates them and shuns them. And so they're left to wander the world. And they play very much like that. Like you are constantly, it feels like, sitting in hostile territory and hoping to God they don't find you and waiting until they're weak to strike and,
So,
kill whatever remainder guys they've got to exploit their weakness and so on.
so what you're saying is that you're Garden Variety Neckbeard, basically.
What in Blackbeard?
No, Garden Variety Black or Neckbeard.
Ah, yeah, basically. But then you can contrast that with, let's say, the High Elves, who have a very, direct economy. Like, they build their cities, they have their economics, they keep a good economy, and they build armies that are mostly designed for defense. And it's more so about trying to unite all the High Elven provinces of, I believe it's called Ulthuan, under one flag. And it's much more peaceful. And even further, let's say the Tomb Kings, which is an ancient empire of, mummies and skeletons, doot, who were buried underneath the sands for centuries, and now they're returning. And their economy is pretty much non-existent because they're a bunch of fucking skeletons. They don't need to eat. They don't need entertainment. So, like, they can't make any money. They can't make any money to save their fucking lives. So, economics and trade with other countries is very difficult. But at the same time, it's very, very easy for them to maintain a standing army because they don't have to pay to supply the army. They don't have to feed the army or nothing. So military units are free.
So they're the easiest, is what you're saying.
Not exactly. Because there are still limits on the amount of units you can build. So you expand the limits on the amount of armies you can build by conquering other cities. But their system, because they don't have to pay for things, it's very easy for them to just build a society where they just turtle super hard and just sit on their borders and slowly let what shitty economy they have build up money, and they can use that for their whatever purposes to build up their economy further and further. Or they can set out their massive free armies to expand and conquer. But that is a whole nother game to talk about. And I feel like I should wait to really talk about that game for when we bring somebody on the podcast like Mike, who is really into strategy games. I'd love to bring that game up again with him.
Well, I mean, I like strategy games. You know, I like their concept and I like what they can do. The main reason why I don't play a lot of them is because I'm dumb as rocks. Actually, no, I'm probably dumber than freaking sawdust. But yeah, like there's this series that I like that is owned by Ubisoft now. Back when I started liking it, it didn't. But this just goes to show that everything that I love is Ubisoft. Anyways, yeah. So I really love Heroes of Might and Magic. Not sure if you've heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
It's like this fantasy, real. Well, not sure if it. No, it's a. I no bloody hell. It's a turn-based strategy game where you build up castles. You have to increase the size of castles. You have to, build smaller armies, and every single castle that you can build, every single type of castle you can build, has a completely different set of characters that you can make there. But you can also upgrade things like their level. So there's like 2 or 3 upgrades to one character where they will become stronger or better, or maybe for say ranged characters they might be able to shoot twice or things like that. Um, and then there's also broken people like the archangels who can just go the entire length of the screen and just kill everyone. Seriously.
That sounds pretty broken, yeah.
But they are so late games, they are so end game that unless you cheat, which you can, there is specifically a cheat which gives you a party of like I think 4 archangels per like free space or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, basically, they are really hard to get if you try to get them legitimately. So the game is pretty well balanced from what I understand. Not having played a lot of strategy games. And I love this game to bits. I really do love it. But I don't think there's been a time that I was able to play through the story mode because I just got killed.
I apparently need to look into this game if it's that good.
I mean, it's pretty old by now. Yeah, it's like it's like either a 2000 or 1990 or something like, or not 1990, 99, I think, or something like that, somewhere along those like the third one. Anyways, I recommend getting the third one. It's on Steam as well, because the third.
I'm looking at it now, and yeah, this game.
Huh?
I'm looking at it now, and yeah, this is an old game.
But yeah, it's older than me, probably.
Oh wow, the series is actually still going.
Yes, Ubisoft still keeps putting out Heroes games. Only I have not been able to play any of them since the 5th one, so I can't tell you about their quality.
Yeah, they're going up to like 7 now.
Yeah, 7 came out like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Well, 3 years ago now.
Oh yeah, 3 years ago. So yeah, by the way, I recommend getting the actual gold version of 3 of GOG or whatever it's called, GOG.com, because it's well, it's a more stable version from what I understand than the updated version that you get on Steam. I own the Steam version, by the way, but people are complaining that it won't play on their PCs because of problems. People are complaining because it doesn't have the expansions which came with it, because I can't really complain about not having the expansions because I never played them. So the game that I bought is literally the same game that I had back on my really old computer.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, and it may be easier sometimes to set things up with Steam than GOG, of course. Which, admittedly, though, I've never used GOG. It's something.
Neither have I.
A lot of people love to praise it, but I don't think I've ever used it myself. No.
I haven't used GOG either, but a lot of people talk about it, and it does have the full version of Heroes 3, like the complete edition, and actually it has the complete edition for literally pretty much all of the games that came out. Maybe even 7, I'm not sure. I didn't really look. But yeah, it also has Just Jackrabbit 2, and anything that has Just Jackrabbit 2 cannot be bad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just so yeah.
Apparently, City Skylines is free for the weekend.
So okay, well then.
That's a game you can download and play for a weekend. I think they'll take it back after the end of the weekend, though.
They definitely will. But I will download it anyways, and then witness my freaking PC be set on fire, I guess.
Because I don't know, games like that usually have pretty extensive options. I wouldn't be surprised if you could turn it 2D into a fucking 16-bit. That'd be funny.
Well, yeah, it would be. I'll look into it. It's something that I would probably enjoy.
Set the resolution to fucking 400 by 1. Real good.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a picture like that.
Let's see. What else have I been playing this week? Well, I did try and start GTA 5 back up. I wanted to try and get back into GTA Online. Got immediately shut down. Like, fucking no. But we already talked about GTA 5 on this podcast.
So, yeah.
Well, I have been playing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite for a while since we got it on the Xbox One. That is a good fucking fighting game. And, like, when you look at the game, it's like, wow, this game does not have much quality to it. Because, I mean, it's tons of fun to play the actual fighting system, and it feels pretty balanced. And, like, the actual gameplay is really, really good, but the graphics are really, really not, and people look like shit. I mean, every time Iron Man takes off his mask, he looks awful.
And thankfully, I have never seen him in Infinite, or in any Marvel. Or, no, I'm not sure. Well, either way, yeah, I have not seen his Infinite thing where he takes off his mask.
Okay, I'll link you in a second. But
okay.
But the thing is, like, at first it's like, how could they have done such a shitty job? And then you find out that it legitimately had half of the DLC budget for Street Fighter V. It has the same budget as fucking Alex, Guile, and Ibuki. And they are expected to spread that out into an entire fighting game of its own with like a roster of 40 characters. And all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, this is actually kind of impressive that they managed to pull off this with this fucking budget.
Oh. He looks like a Saints Row 2 or Saints Row 3 character or so. A Saints Row character is what I'm trying to say.
Right, and Saints Row 3 characters look like plastic.
Yeah, pretty much.
It feels really good to play. I'll say that. And I'll say that I hope that by some bizarre virtue Capcom decides to continue to support the game, because even though the graphics look like ass, it's a fun game to play and I want to see more characters added. But I mean, at the same time, I think it sold like no units, even though it had zero budget. And the fucking competitive scene is already dying down, and the game just came out a couple of months ago, so that's not a good one at all.
I think the main problem with this game is that, they can't really advertise that we made this game in this much of a budget. So people just looked at Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and then 3, yes, it's sprouted from the disc. Anyways, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Huh?
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is Groot's favorite game.
Yes. So people looked at Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and then just looked at this game and they went, what happened? And, while they're developing the game and advertising it and things like that, they can't really just come out and say, well, yeah, but this game got made in an actual budget and this game got made from coffee from Starbucks.
Yeah, hey, we made this game with 3 nickels and a shoestring. Aren't you impressed enough to buy the game? No. Fuck off. Um,
But yeah, and I have heard from multiple sources now that the gameplay is pretty fun, but I don't see myself picking it up. For one, because well, as you know, I'm not really.
You're not a Marvel person. You don't strike me as a Marvel person.
Yeah, that's one thing. For another, there's just not enough people for me to consider picking it up, and for another, it doesn't have Akuma.
No, it doesn't. But if we do ever get a DLC season 2, I would Akuma, because Akuma was a big part of Marvel 2 and Marvel 3, so he's got to get in there at some point.
Yeah, but then I don't want to pay actual money to get my main.
Right, but they're gonna release an ultimate version. If they make extra DLC seasons, then you will see an ultimate version containing all the DLC. I mean, shit, they're already doing that for Street Fighter V, and that game came out a fucking year ago, 2 years ago, whatever.
I just hope that they want to do it like Killer Instinct does it.
Oh my god, Killer Instinct does it the worst.
There's an ultimate version for every freaking season.
Yep. And the thing is, I'm enough of a fighting game nerd that I'm probably going to end up picking those ultimate versions up anyways.
I own the first season because it was given out free for those with gold, and man, let me tell you, just it was the biggest waste of my no money spent. Probably no. There were bigger wastes. Freaking.
I was about to say I've played I downloaded that game and played the tutorial, and it seems pretty good in terms of making it accessible, and it actually really helped me. I think the tutorial did towards understanding 2D fighters, particularly the more explosive combo heavy ones such as Killer Instinct or Marvel vs. Capcom. I think it was a big help there.
Well, yeah, but you see, I'm not really a big fan of combos, as we've discussed this earlier, for one. And for another, I tried the story mode, the one that, or was it a story mode? I'm not sure. The choose your own adventure thing, where they're trying to save the Earth or something. Well, whatever, there's a thing like that in the game. And I gave that a try, and it was fun. Like, I had my fun. But whatever fun I had got ruined by, you guessed it, loot boxes.
Oh, there's loot boxes in that game. I never...
Well, I mean, it's only for the story mode thing. But, if... But,
well, that's a little bit different. If it's an RPG story mode, then loot boxes have been a part of RPGs forever. And as long as it doesn't really affect anything like serious, like your character's appearance, then it's fine, I think. As long as it's just affecting your stats.
It's affecting, it's buffs and debuffs, if I remember correctly, but I might be wrong. I mean, I haven't played the game since, 1.5 years ago or so. I'm not sure.
Well, maybe it was only... That's RPGs, man. That's part of the genre there.
Big reason why I don't play RPGs, I guess. But yeah. So, having no friends and hating online so much that I won't ever buy anything that is centered around it, aside from maybe For Honor, but I gave up on that.
For Honor. For Honor is hilarious because it's artificially inflating its seasons super hard. Because your regular MOBA game actually counts seasons like a regular sport would, where it's every year is a season. So, League of Legends is probably up to, Season 6 or Season 7 or Season 8. For Honor has been out for a year and is also on Season 7 or Season 8. Because they're inflating the numbers super hard to make it look like there's way more work and popularity in the game than there actually is.
Yeah, with For Honor, here's my expert analysis of me pulling shit out of my ass, basically, but in my opinion, if they took For Honor, trashed it in the bin, pulled the fighting mechanic and the graphics out of the bin, and then just put it in an open world, or not necessarily an open world game, but an actual video game instead of just frickin' an enclosed arena for monkeys, because that's what I see MOBAs as, I guess. But yeah, if they put it in an actual game, the fighting mechanic and the graphics, it might have actually sold more copies than 5.
I think the big problem with it was simply that it was confusing. Because when they first revealed the trailers, it looked vaguely like a Musu game, or I believe that's like Muso game. It looked vaguely like a Muso game, but with a emphasis on like realism and context-sensitive moves, like being able to fucking shoulder block somebody off a skyscraper or something.
Yeah, which is why I wanted to buy it in the first place.
Yeah, and it looked like it had real sweet graphics, but then the more details about MOBA instead. Well, more details came out about the game over time, and it came out looking instead, like turning out instead that it's like a MOBA, but also a fighting game, and it's like, okay, then where is the fucking direction that this game is going in?
Yeah, so exactly. That's the main problem with it. But
the problem is that it couldn't pick what it wanted to be. But it could have been Muso, it could have been a Western Muso, and that'd have been interesting to see what a Western developer would do with a Muso game, because
I agree.
That is pretty much entirely an Eastern game genre. It could be a 3D like fighter like Power Stone or so, which that may be a little bit more difficult because 3D fighters like Power Stone generally are far less accessible to the competitive community as 2D fighters or 3D fighters like Tekken or Soul Calibur. Or it could have gone for the MOBA route, which I think that is what primarily it's focusing on now, which there's the whole competitive market there along with Twitch streaming. But because it went for all three, and those were all three very, very, very games, then it ran into problems. Now, I say this pulling a lot out of my ass because I've not actually really looked into For Honor. And I feel like this is going to be one of those situations where I spend an episode ranting about something stupid, and then it turns out I'm totally fucking wrong. Because there was one episode of the old podcast way back in the day when WWE first came out. And I rented that game, and I played it, and we made a podcast episode about it. And the entire episode of the podcast was me ranting about the fucking game. Next fucking episode we film next week, we get Monkey Wool on the podcast, and we talk to him about WWE 2K15. And it turns out that everything I said about WWE 2K15 the previous week was fucking wrong. And we had an entire episode of me bullshitting about complete nonsense.
Well, I mean, I was in the closed beta, and then I was in the open beta as well for Honor, so I have some experience with it, I guess.
Yeah, you do, but do you know what a MOBA is?
Yes, I have played Smite.
Okay.
So I kind of know, I guess. But yeah, it really is just, what if we took a Muso game, which is what brought me into looking into the game, and also because my friend, who's basically my brother, wouldn't shut up about getting a game with Vikings in it because he loves the Vikings. But yeah.
Well,
so
I think it had very clear issues that they had to deal with.
Well, yeah, there was that whole peer-to-peer freaking not having any servers for games thing, but ooh, I don't give a shit because I don't play online, so whatever.
No dedicated servers in a multiplayer-focused game? Are you serious?
Yup. The game got dedicated servers like half a year ago now or so. I'm not sure. I wasn't really following it that close after it actually came out, so I don't know, but I know that now it has dedicated servers. Before then, it didn't.
That is absurd. That like dedicated servers is one of the biggest necessities of any game that wants to have substantial online games. I don't see how they could miss out on something like that.
But yeah, so I played against the bots because I never have I never have Xbox Live Gold, so I can't play online anyways, and neither would I, even if I had Xbox Live Gold, so there. But yeah, I played against the bots. The fighting was good, it was enjoyable, The Musou parts were good, it was enjoyable. And then I was like, okay, I like this, but why are we enclosed? So
Well, I mean, any fighting game or Musou game is going to have you enclosed.
Well, yeah, but there's a level of there's a level of freeness. Like in a fighting game, there's a whole stage and it focuses on 2 to 4 people where, the stages are made for more people normally. And in a Musou game, sure, it's enclosed, but normally there's a whole battlefield to go around and kill people in. So
yeah, I don't know. It's one of those games I can't really bring myself to care too much about now, other than I think is bad about it. Oh, hey, look at that. Mike's on the forum.
Ask him to come on to the recording, I guess.
Oh, no, I know Mike. Mike's very, very good at dodging things. He'll pretend he didn't see it. He'll pretend he went to sleep. But I think that's all.
As for Ubisoft failures, there's also Steep.
Steep, right. That thing exists. It's just a snowboarding game, right?
Yeah, it's actually one of the better ones, and by one of the better ones, I mean one of the ones that I actually played. So yeah, I mean it's pretty much just MMO skate, but with snow.
But with snow. Did you say MMO?
Well, kind of, not really.
Okay, well, like, it's just got an online multiplayer with like leveling, and it isn't necessarily MMO.
It is. It has online multiplayer with leveling.
Oh.
Kind of. Well, I'm not sure how to explain the leveling, but basically you have these playstyle level things where you can be really good at that playstyle. So I guess that's leveling.
I guess based off how you're describing it.
So yeah, I find that game to be really good or not really good, but really fun as well. Like it's a game that you put in when you have nothing else to play and then just go at it.
It's always good to have games like that. Games you can doesn't feel like games that you can. I can see my mic actually cutting out. Games that you can just mess around in without actually having to put too much thought into it are always a nice thing to have.
Yeah, and this game is like that. Like it has challenges. Like you actually have different kinds of challenges, even if you don't want to switch to things like the wingsuits and the freaking what's the word I'm looking for? The parachuting. Like even if you just want to snowboard or ski, you can still do a variety of things. Like there's extreme challenges where you need to be more closer to falling off your stuff. There's trick challenges where you have to do tricks. There's that was it. Then there's actual races, both with predetermined paths, I think, and also with just a finish line, and you need to get there however you want. So yeah, there's a good number of things to do in it, and there's actually some updates for it, I guess. I mean, like a new expansion just came out for it that put the Olympics stuff in it, which is just basically more annoying missions, I guess. But yeah, and I played the open beta for the DLC because now we need to have open betas for DLC, I guess. I was also in the closed and open betas for the game, so that as well. But yeah, like I can see myself picking the game up for $10. I can't see myself buying it for full price or $30 or something like that because I don't have people to play with. If I had people to play with, it might be better, but without that, it's still a pretty good game to just put on and play. But for putting on and playing, it's not worth $30 or $60 or anything basically above 15. For me, anyways.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that was one of the few games, sports games I ever thought, like, while looking at it, like, hey, that actually kind of looks like fun. Because I fucking hate sports games for the most part.
I also hate sports games for the most part. Like, the only sports games that I like are Skate, Steep, I guess now, and also the WWE games, but then I'm just bored of them, so I naturally might say that I like them.
Yeah, I also can't really play the day-to-day games anymore. I don't know. But I noticed with Skate and Steep, the two games you like, those are two games that a lot of the joy comes from watching your character eat shit super hard.
Well, yes, but I like doing really bullshit, really hard tricks. Like freaking spinning in the air with your board and then just hitting yourself in the rails or something. Because you spun one too many times, because that's a thing. Like, there were a couple of really hard challenges because I have played Skate 3 despite not owning it, because I had 1 month of EA Pass or whatever it's called. And Skate 3, yes.
Skate
The best kind of, yes, the best kind of skating. Yeah, Skate 3 was added to it just then. So I was like, okay, I'll try it out because, I looked at the game and I thought that it looked fun. I also tried Mirror's Edge Catalyst out because that's a thing that also exists. It was okay. It was basically just open world Mirror's Edge 1.
Okay. I knew there was some Mirror's Edge sequel they'd made. I knew they made Mirror's Edge 2. Is this something different from Mirror's Edge 2?
Yes, it's a hard reboot.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, so I didn't quite know what's going on there. That's curious. They rebooted Mirror's Edge because that's a relatively very new series for them to just reboot. I guess it is 10 years old now, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, I played Skate 3 and it had some really hard challenges, and by hard I mean you had to get really high amounts of scores. And I remember like this one part where there were just stairs, like there was a flight of stairs, then a turn, and then another flight of stairs that you needed to get down while getting points. So from what I remember, I just cheesed it by starting to go down the actual stairs, jumping onto the rail, jumping onto the other side of the rail, and then just falling on my face and somehow getting points.
Well, you get points for amusing the judges with your terrible, terrible skills and your ability to get your face pushed in. Well,
but yeah.
What time are we running at now for the recording?
2.5 hours, about that time.
I'd say that's a pretty good length for a recording, wouldn't you?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, viewers, thanks for watching this podcast of absolutely no topics and me and Addie just rambling at each other. Hopefully we can get some more done soon. See you later.